We're not going to worry about that. As long as we're stable and we're online, that's all we care about right now, dude. Okay. So let's see. Little recap real quick. We have met, okay, so hold on. Let me try to put this right in my head. We are on a island in this particular bay called Issei Bay in Japan. And, God, I wish I could remember what the island's called. It's like it's not Hiroshima or Kiri. I don't remember. We're on a very specific island that's named after a turtle, or it's called like Turtle Island, basically. I think it's Japanese. But the big point is that this is a place where people do what they call ama diving, which is when someone dives to the bottom of the ocean floor to find things like sea urchins and scallops or whatever, you know, like food. Like, so they like are scavengers of food, or hunters, if you will. But yeah, they dive down just holding their breath, and then they harvest stuff off the seafloor, and then they come back up, and that's what an ama diver is. And so this is a place that's very popular with ama divers. There's a lot of ama diving going on. They eat a lot of seafood because it's an island. So our story so far has been that it's about well, these three characters, or three of them that we've played through so far. But I think it's kind of mostly about Yuza. He kind of seems like our, or at least our cornerstone character from the beginning. So Yuza is kind of an interesting guy. So his family, his mom was an ama diver, and I don't know what his dad was, maybe like a fisherman or something. But 5 years before the story starts, Yuza's mother and father went out with this group of fishers, and they didn't even say why they were going. Apparently, that's kind of like a mystery part. But the group included his friend. Oh man, I'm trying to remember everybody's names. Azumi, I think Azumi is his name. Anyway, his best friend's dad was also out there because his dad was a fisherman as well. But apparently this very localized storm happened while they were out fishing, and they all lost their lives. So like a huge storm happened, capsized all the boats, they all sank. But Yuza's family put him as a small child into a life buoy to try to save his life at least. And while he was in the life buoy in the storm, he did go underwater. He had a memory where he remembered going underwater, and he felt someone grab his hand and pull him back to the surface. And he remembers like the vague shape of what we would recognize as a mermaid in front of him. So he thinks that maybe a mermaid saved him. And he thinks that possibly that mermaid was his mother. And the reason why, long story short, is that his mother was a little bit of an oddball. People didn't really like her because she didn't really fit in with everybody. And she came from this like random place that she didn't really talk about, like some place in the mountains or something. And she just never really talked about where she came from. So he's thinking, well, maybe my mom is a mermaid and she turned back into a mermaid when all that stuff happened, and then she saved me. And so he is becoming an ama diver because he wants a chance to maybe see that mermaid again and see if it's his mom or something. And if he's part mermaid, then maybe he's a good diver. You know, I think that's part of like what he was thinking. Some, you know, kind of silly young people thoughts, I suppose you could say. So that's what's going on with Yuza. Then we have, I guess we have Sato Shiranami, and her and, oh God, what's the other girl's name? Tsukasa, I think is her name. They're just two teenage friends, and Tsukasa was like a longtime friend of Yuza and Azami. And she is, she's just visiting the island because I think she's now going to school on like the mainland. So, but she's just here to visit, and she has to leave in a couple of days. And so we know that about her, and that she's having some sort of going away party or whatever. She wants everybody to get together, I think. And we found out that she has a crush on there's a rich magnate that lives on the island, and his son, she has a crush on his son. He's like this kind of rich jock guy or whatever, got a pop collar and everything. And she wants to give him like a handwritten letter that confesses her love to him. So that's where we're at with that storyline. And then at the bottom here, we have Yumiko Shiki, and she's actually very interesting, I think. She is the wife of a famous psychic, I guess you could call him. And she works for the Paranormal Affairs Bureau, I guess, or whatever, or district, or whatever you call them, group within the Tokyo Police. and she actually is there like kind of in place of her husband. It seems like I can't remember why her husband isn't there, but there's some reason he's like, I don't know, injured or something. He can't be there, so she's there in his stead. But she doesn't actually have that much spirit power like her husband does, but she does have her husband's protege, Sato, I think is his name, or Soto, I think is his name actually. Anyways, he is the one that has a lot of spirit potential, and he has learned everything he knows from her husband, and so he's there to do all of the sort of paranormal stuff. Like, I think he can see the face of a victim just by seeing some small part of them, so he's good at identifying bodies, although apparently it doesn't always work or whatever, classic psychic stuff. And there's other things he can do too. I think that's the main thing we've only seen him do is that. And so their story was they're here to do some investigating, and they started out their morning by taking a look at a dead body that has washed up on shore. And the weird thing about this dead body is that it looks like a mermaid, like a desiccated, completely dried, like jerky of a mermaid. So it's kind of weird. It kind of looks like those fake mermaids maybe that we've seen in real life, where people have stitched together things to make it try to look like it's a mermaid. It kind of looks like that. I think it's maybe the way they try to design it anyway. So Yumiko and Soto went there to try to help, investigate. So Soto identified the body and drew a picture of what he believes the person looked like when they were still alive. And from what we could see, it looked like it was Yuza's mother. So this might be that Yuza's mother was a mermaid and that she died at some point, and now we found her body. Weird thing is that Yumiko stated that it's most likely that this is a person who was in the middle of transforming from a human to a fish, and that they were mid-transformation, and that's why they appear to be a mermaid, but the real cause would be a curse that turns people into fish. It's just the fact that it was like only up to like her mid-torso that the fishness was, as she's saying, is because the curse wasn't complete and she was in the middle of it when she died, and that she must have died only like a day ago, which is weird because the body was desiccated. So that's something I don't understand. And the cop was also like, what? How could this happen? Because she's totally like desiccated and she's in the water. So like, how is it that she's dried up but in the water when we found her? And so that's kind of some interesting points there we'll have to figure out. Let's see. Is there anything else there? She was here to see the magnate, so that's one thing. Yumiko and Soto, they crossed paths with Sato and Tsukasa because they're looking for the magnate's house. And, because Sato lives, or I guess I didn't mention that. Sato lives, like she's a guest of the magnate. Can't remember his family name. So she actually lives at that place. So it was kind of fortunate that Yumiko ran across her because they could give her directions directly where that was. So yeah, we have the police lady here to meet the magnate. We got the girls that are just kind of talking about the hot rich boy, and then we got the two boys that are trying to find mermaids while ama diving, because their parents died, and one of them wants to see if he can find his mom. So that's kind of the broad strokes of the whole thing. So right where we're starting today is I'm going to go ahead and start here at this Yumiko Shiki memory, because it's kind of interesting too, because we started at this point, but then we keep getting these memories where we can go back in the story. So we keep going like further and further back. So we actually haven't gotten back to the present moment yet, which would be like right here, memories of last summer. So we're going back into unidentified skeletons. So apparently there were two bodies that Yumiko and Soto visited to investigate, and we only saw the second one. So now they mentioned how earlier, or the day before or something, there was another body, and so that's what this memory, I believe, is unidentified skeletons. So that's where we're starting today, is seeing what they were talking about when they said that they had already been at another crime scene or dead body or whatever. So that's where we're going to start. All right, let's get into it. Let me double check OBS. Yep, it's good. Okay, yep, I think restarting the modem really helped. Okay, cool. All right, unidentified skeletons. Yumiko Shiki, recollection. Yeah, they call them recollections. That's what they call them. Yeah, the whole past bits of the story. Yumiko Shiki arrives in Toba City, Mei Prefecture, to investigate the discovery of skeletal remains with her assistant, Soto Kiryu. Just want to finish off my coffee before we got started, before I do all these voices. Date unknown, August of 1980 something. In the morning, Toba City. Ijika Town. Welcome, ma'am. I've been waiting for you. The site where the bones were found is a little ways offshore from this beach. You went ahead and started the investigation, I see. Thanks for that. Not at all. You clearing everything with the local police meant all I had to do was arrive and inspect the remains myself. To get straight to the point, there is no doubt signs of a curse are clearly evident. The skeletal remains are tied to a supernatural incident. Seems I was right to trust my intuition on this one. All right then, let me hear the full report. Understood. Let's think. Oh, yeah, I have a thinking voice this week. I had already planned to come here to Toba in May, prefecture, together with Sodo on another case. But the news of skeletal remains being found in the area caught my eye, so I sent him ahead to investigate. As expected, turned out to be the result of a curse, likely a troublesome one at that. Okay. Surroundings. This is the town of Ijika in Toba City. The area is a historic place known for its Ama divers. Oh, I know it well. It's also famous as a filming location of one of Japan's most well-known monster films. I wouldn't know about that myself, ma'am, but you seem unusually well-versed in that area. Those old tokusatsu? Yeah. Those old tokusatsu films are the best. You should watch them for yourself, Sodo. As you wish. I'll look into it. Ijika Town. Ijika Town is a fishing settlement located within Toba City on the eastern tip of Shima Peninsula. The area takes its name from Ijikajima, an island offshore of the region. It is said that the hollow in the center of the island was so reflective as to resemble a mirror, leading to Yamatohime no Mikoto, giving it its current name, which is written with the characters for stone and mirror. That's interesting. This person, I think she's like a princess, I want to say, the Yamatohime. And she seems to have named a lot of things. I feel like she gets mentioned in the history of like naming everything so far. The raised coastline is a particularly beautiful sight, and it is well known as a spot to watch the sunrise. It is also notable as the filming location of the first entry in one of Japan's most famous monster film series, and sees many visits from fans as a result. Is that Godzilla? Is that what we're talking about? I mean, they have a lot of kaiju, I guess, so Godzilla is just kind of the one that is most famous in the West. Okay, so Toba City. So that's here on the mainland, it looks like. I mean, I guess it kind of next to these, because this is the island that we're mostly focusing on. So all of that is considered Toba City. A city located on the northeastern tip of Shima Peninsula, adjacent to Ise City and Shima City. Along with the city itself, its administrative area also encompasses 4 populated islands. The combined area of modern Toba City and Shima City was formerly known as Shima Province. Its coastline features one of Japan's most notable ria coasts and is renowned not only for its marine industries, but also for its popularity as a tourist destination. Having originally sprung up as a castle town of the Toba domain, the years following the Meiji era saw Toba flourish as the center of the Shima region. With an abundance of marine products available in its waters, it is also famous for being home of the highest number of active Ama divers in Japan. There are many great houses run by Ama divers and fishermen along the shore, providing visitors to the area with the opportunity to enjoy fresh seafood. Sounds wonderful. Anything else to look at? The clouds in the sky, the empty road, the building above our head apparently isn't even included in surroundings. Okay, that's it. That's all we got. Then we got this handsome man. skeletal remains. To begin, shall we review the details of the case? Is that really necessary? Summarizing may help us notice something we missed. Not a day goes past that I don't admire your diligence, Soto. My thanks. I'll strive to be brief. A few days ago, a fisherman off the coast here hauled up a long rod-like object. It resembled a human bone, so he notified the police. That was about 10 days ago. So he fished up completely by chance. Following that, the police conducted an underwater investigation of the surrounding area. They discovered multiple skeletal remains in a fissure beneath the rocks. All the remains were already severely deteriorated, with each being several years to several decades old. As a result, forensics struggled to identify the victims. There was just too little to go on. Only fragments of the skulls remained, so facial reconstruction was apparently not possible. Hardly surprising in such a state. Still, with your ability, we hardly need facial reconstruction, do we? Indeed. I'll report my discovery shortly. Okay. Keep talking about them remains. You know, one possibility comes to mind. Will you humor me? Please, go ahead. I wonder if those skeletal remains could be the victims of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster from 5 years ago. That's what I was thinking. It's like, was this like all those other people besides Yuza's mom or whatever, and then we find Yuza's mom's corpse, so it's like something happened to reveal all this stuff? I don't know, because you're talking about the fissure and everything. So maybe they all got sucked into the fissure, like something underwater happened, and that's part of this unnatural disaster thing that happened. Because like one thing they mentioned last time was that there are curses that will cause very localized, unpredictable, or whatever, like weird weather patterns and stuff. So like natural disasters can happen because of a curse, is kind of what was hinted at last week. And I had the thought, like, well, maybe that's what happened to them all those times ago. Maybe it was Yuza's mom somehow was cursed, and that caused whatever happened to cause them all to die or something. So yeah, that's an interesting question she asked. Regrettably, that is not the case. Oh, darn it. Please don't sound so defeated. Forensics confirmed 5 bodies in total, but they said that each had decomposed over a different length of time. Ah, okay, because they had all died at the same time 5 years ago, so interesting. Oh? Meaning they didn't all die at the same time? Correct. The most recent appears to date back 6 years. The others go back some 10 years before that, and another 10, and another 10, and so on. So roughly 1 body every 10 years? Indeed. I imagine that any older remains may have simply decayed entirely. Which means someone's been using that fissure as a place to dump corpses for decades. It's surrounded by rock, and with minimal currents in that area, it's unlikely that they drifted there naturally. Had that bone not been fished up by chance, we'd never have known, in other words. It was an ideal site for quietly disposing of bodies. So this was no accident. Someone did this. I imagine quite some resentment must have piled up over the years. Indeed, but I've already cleansed the lingering resentment in the area. Leaving such resentment to fester could lead to a curse manifesting after all. Interesting, we're getting more like lore about how curses even get started, because it's like, I feel like a lot of the things that they end up fleshing out about that in this game are going to kind of say something about the first game. Because the first game, you don't really know why everything started manifesting. I mean, we knew that, like, that someone casted the Feast for Shadows, or whatever it was called, which has already been mentioned in this game, that Feast of Shadows might be happening here. But yeah, it's interesting. So it's like resentment. If resentment seems to like fester in an area, they can turn into a curse. So that's interesting. Efficient as always. My thanks. Keep talking about that remains. Let's exhaust it. There is one more point of concern that all the remains have in common. Go on. Each body bore a clean, precise cut, clearly severed. Severed? You're saying they were sliced straight through the bone? Exactly. Each was sliced down through the bone, all with a clean cut as smooth as the last. Forensics noted that reproducing such uniform cuts would be extremely difficult. Even with industrial equipment, such precision would have been unachievable decades ago. One possible explanation is that a master swordsman, wielding a razor-sharp katana, cleaved each of them in a single stroke. Yes, well, that would certainly explain it. But warriors don't exactly run around with swords in this day and age. Which brings us to the possibility of a curse, I suppose. Correct. If the cuts were made by supernatural means, the rules change. And as it turns out, there were traces of a curse at each of the severed points. It was just a matter of time until we found one. Also, for the briefest moment, I glimpsed a curse echo that looked like a warrior in armor. A curse echo in armor? Yes. Judging from the crest on its armor and given our location, it appears to be a curse tied to the Hike. Hike? Right. The Hike. You are familiar with the Hike, I assume? Of course. Well, we're gonna go with, well. The Hike? I'm not too sure. The Hike were a branch of the Taira clan, a warrior family who rose to power at the end of the Heian period. From their base in Ise province, they expanded their influence, reaching great heights under the Taira no Kiramori. But in their pride, they were defeated by the Ginji in what is now known as the Ginpei War. Ah, yes, of course. I knew that. The tale of the Hike preserved just how prosperous. Well, I could not read that word for some reason. Hold on, let me just restart. The tale of the Hike preserved just how prosperous they were before they fell. Many who lived through the downfall carried deep regrets. Wow, look at that image. There's so much detail there. There's so much going on. A lot of like armor. Honestly, it's kind of hard to see exactly what's going on. There's some slight parallaxing in it, though. I think that's pretty cool. The resentment is especially persistent. Many traces remain even today, and they can be quite meddlesome. So we're saying this is where the resentment was coming from? Indeed, you hear about it all over the place. I guess even by expert standards, it's quite the problem. Files updated. The Hike. Abbreviated genealogy of the Hike. Tadamori, blah, blah, blah. Like, these names don't really have a whole lot of, like, purpose for me, so it's hard for me to understand the significance here. The Hike were part of the Ise Chara clan, which was itself an Ise-based branch of the Taira clan, a prominent samurai family in the Heian period. Although the entire Ise Taira clan was greatly influential, Hike refers to the particularly prosperous lineage of Taira no Masamori, Taira no Tadamori, and Taira no Kiyomori. Known as one of the most prominent samurai families of the Heian period alongside the Minamoto clan, the Taira clan was originally based in the Kanto region. However, following Taira no Masakado's uprising against the central government in the year 935, and its suppression of the hands of Taira no Sadamori, the latter's son, Korihira, moved to Ise province, where he came to wield significant political power. This was the start of what would become known as the Ise Taira clan. 4 generations on from Korihira, Taira no Masamori consolidated the family's influence in Ise. His successor, Tadamori, was granted permission to enter the imperial court in 1132. eventually attaining a rank equal to that of nobility. The distinguished military exploits of Tadamori's son, Taira no Kiramori, further led to Kiramori's promotion to Daijo Daijin, Chancellor of the Realm, the highest possible governmental rank in 1167. In 1180, Kiyomori's daughter Noriko married into the imperial family, and her son ascended the throne as emperor, enabling the Hike to consolidate their monopoly on political authority. Thus, the Taira clan came to dominate the political landscape of the time. Such was their wealth and power that one member of the clan is said to have remarked that all those who did not belong to the Taira clan were to be considered people of no position. Damn, dude. That's pretty crazy. However, this golden age of the Taira clan did not last long. Their arrogant rule and dictatorial grasp on power led to many turning against the Taira clan, and the strings of rebellion soon came to a head, with several prominent figures joining forces in a bid to overthrow them. In the midst of the resulting years of warfare, Kiramori died of illness in March 1181. Despite losing one of their key members, the Taira clan continued to struggle against their opponents, but to no avail. In 1185, they were finally defeated in the Battle of Dan no Ura, and many of its members, including Kiramori's grandson, Emperor Antoku, who was still a child at the time, were lost beneath the waves of Dan no Ura, burdened with unfulfilled ambitions. It is said that the Kusanagi no Tsurugi sword, one of the 3 imperial regalia of Japan, regarded since ancient times as a symbol of imperial authority, was also lost into the sea that day. Oh, some fancy sword was also lost, damn. After their defeat, the surviving members of the Taira clan, now disgraced as fallen warriors, scattered across the country and lived out their days in hiding. Even to this day, legends of the Taira clan survivors persist in various regions across Japan. Interesting. That's some very good backstory to kind of give some context to what we're talking about. What's more, the katana that Curse Echo carried, I believe it may have been the famed blade, Nukemaru. Nukemaru? Yes, a blade passed down through the Hike, once wielded by Taira no Tadamori. I see. It would seem your love of swords has proved rather useful here. So what you're saying is that these skeletal remains were cut and killed by the power of Tadamori's curse? I can't say it was Tadamori himself, but I am confident it was a curse from someone within the Hike. At the very least, it offers an explanation for those mysteriously perfect cuts. But the bodies being dumped every decade, surely that can't be the curse too, can it? Correct. I imagine that part likely involves further intervention by someone else. So this wasn't an accident by some spontaneous curse. There's a perpetrator out there. Indeed. However, I can't imagine any psychic with enough power to wield such a curse would dispose of bodies so poorly. My theory is that someone is using a curse stone. They are killing through its curse, then discarding the bodies. Yes, a curse stone. We're getting back into the lore of the first game, where everyone had curse stones. A curse stone. I wonder if there's going to be a bunch of them this time, too. I guess we'll see. Think of it as a talisman that lets even those without spirit sense use the power of curses. They are created when intense resentment fuses with a suitable relic. That sounds dangerously convenient. There were a few incidents involving curse stones in Tokyo last year, actually. Didn't you hear? Oh, now that you mention it, that somewhat rings a bell. Now, was that them talking about the last game? Because I don't know, like, timeline-wise, to the last one where we're at, so maybe this will give us some connections here. Curse stones, a type of curse tool that allows even people without any spirit sense to wield curses. As long as the tool meets the above criteria, items of any shape or size may be referred to as curse stones. Many curse stones have conditions that must be fulfilled to use them, often based on the spiritual power and characteristics of the curse itself. It's a curse If a cursed stone has low spiritual power, it may only be possible to use it under specific circumstances, such as when under the influence of the Feast of Shadows, a spell that heightens the potency of certain types of spiritual energy. It's a Feast of Shadows, that's what it was called. Okay, I think I may have said that wrong earlier. Interesting. I love when it ties into the last one. The lore expands. So, in short, whoever is behind this possesses a stone imbued with the Hike's curse. They use it to kill someone roughly every decade, dumping the body into the sea. Yes, that aligns with the evidence. Thank you for the summary. Okay, shall we think again? And now there's this curse stone imbued with the curse of the Hike. This whole thing is turning into quite a headache. Even with so little to go on, Soto deduced all of this. Pretty impressive. I'll have to remember to give him kudos later. Okay. Can we take a look at Soto? You haven't looked at him yet. A diligent and earnest young man. His mentor, my husband, has nothing but praise for his skills, so he has my complete trust. I know I shouldn't rely on him too much, but he's so good at noticing the finer details that I often find myself doing... so. Okay. Thought that was going in a different direction. Still got more on them remains. Now then, about those skeletal remains. Were you able to use your Shagun, Soto? Yes, I did. It only worked on the most recent body, though. The one from 6 years ago. By viewing part of the remains, I was able to reconstruct a portrait sketch of how he looked when he was alive. Here is a copy. I've already provided one to the police as well. See, that's somebody we don't recognize. For some reason, my first thought is, what if that's Azumi or whatever his name, like Yuza's friend's dad, maybe? That's my first thought. I could see that being the case, but we'll see. Impressive. That ability of yours remains quite the asset. Not always. There are times when the vision just doesn't come through. It's far from infallible. Besides, there are those who could simply speak directly with the victim's spirit and ask who did it. Even so, none of these methods would hold up as admissible evidence in court. Cerulean, hey, what's up? Yay, Dom, how are you doing? It's been doing good, man. It's been a very long time. Yes, it has. Have you been, my friend? I've been doing good, dude. Yeah, I've just recently started to get back into streaming, just the last few weeks here. And man, did I have some headaches earlier with my internet, but we're good now. But yeah, good to see you, man. What have you been up to? You still streaming? I think last I remember you were streaming some Digimon, is that right? What you've been playing lately? But as a lead in our investigation, it's more than enough. Excellent work. Thank you. We had the police compare the sketch against missing people from 6 years ago. But no matches were found. Darn. Would have made things much easier. Detective Ide is continuing the investigation. Nah, the detective with the local police. I've heard he's good. So let's hope he proves it. Toba seabed skeletons. A case in which multiple human skeletons were recovered from a deep fissure in the Toba seabed. The initial estimate indicated that at least 5 bodies had been disposed of there. The following information has not been made available to the public. Victims' identities unclear. All victims are male. Each body is thought to have been disposed of at different times. The most recent body dates to about 6 years ago. Facial sketch of this individual obtained using Soto Kiryu's Shagun ability. I'm not sure about that one. Just finished Metaphor, Refantasio. Okay, I've heard of that one. I've never played those games, but I think I have heard of that one. Friday. Other than that, I am now working at as kitchen helper in a cafe. Oh, cool. That sounds like a fun thing to be doing. I've been there for 1 year and 4 months almost. Nice. Well, how are you liking that? Has that been a pretty cool job to have? It sounds like it would actually be a pretty fun place to be, I would imagine. A cafe. Probably a pretty cool place to work. But how are you liking that? And how is Metaphor? What kind of games are those? Are they like survivor games? For some reason, I'm thinking horror, but maybe I'm totally wrong. What was the Metaphor games? Because there's more than one, right? Or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. You tell me. Let's see. The other remains show signs of gradual aging, with the oldest dating back more than 30 years. Although the presence of older remains has also been confirmed, they have completely decayed, and it is impossible to tell how old they are. It is unlikely that the bodies could have drifted into the fissure naturally, so it is thought that someone has been discarding them for every few years. I wonder if it's like the curse requires them to kill somebody, so they like wait until the last moment, and then they're like, fine, I'll kill somebody. And that's why it's like every 10 years. I don't know. I feel like that there's got to be a story that's had that kind of thing in it before. It's like Persona. Oh, right. That's what Metaphor was. Right. My brother played that game. That's right. Yeah, it did look like a pretty cool game because it is a lot like Persona. Now it's all coming back to me. Right. Was it really long too, like the Persona games as well? I think because it was so like Persona, that's why I like hesitated with like trying it out myself, because those games seem so long. I love like the style and everything, and from what I hear about the stories, they do seem like good games, but I usually stay away just because like some of them long RPG games sometimes, I don't know if I got time for it anymore. It's about 90 hours game time. Yeah, that's pretty long. It's not that long actually then, honestly. I've spent more time in The Witcher 3, so maybe I'll have to come around and to checking that one out sometime, because it did look pretty cool. I like the whole like art style and everything, because I watched my brother play a little bit of it every once in a while. So yeah, maybe I'll have to check that one out, because you know how much I like story games. Is the story pretty good? What did you think about the story of it? Let's see here. Each skeleton shows signs of a clean, precise cut inflicted by a sharp blade. Traces of a curse were also detected from around the severed sections. The victims are believed to have been killed by a curse wielded by someone connected to the Heike. Okay, interesting. Keep talking about them remains. Say, Soto, that sketch of yours. Maybe we should show it to some of the locals. Ah, good point. Someone might recognize him if they were around here 6 years ago. If we can identify the victim, it could help us trace the one who used the curse. I guess we can't just leave things be now that we know there is a curse involved. Honestly, I'd rather not deal with it. There you go again. Are you sure that's something you should be saying out loud? Obviously not. I just want to get this over with and go home, that's all. Yes, yes. We all know how much you love your home. The homebody, it sounds like. Story in the game is great, in my opinion. Nice. Yeah, I probably should check it out then. I do love a good story. And the art style's great. Yeah, I should probably check it out. One of these days. So you got anything on the plate to play next? And did you stream Metaphor, or did you just play it? Have you been streaming anything lately? State of the Sea. So we're finally done with Skeletal Remains. State of the Sea. You can see the sea from here all the way to Kamishima. Do you sense anything out there, Soto? Yes, I do. The waters south of Kamishima are saturated with the powerful presence of the curse of the raging waves. I can sense it even from this distance. That's how strong it is. I bet the curse of the raging waves is what killed those people 5 years ago. Because it kind of sounds like that's kind of what happened to them a little bit. Is that so? Looking out to sea, I can't see a thing. I just hope this means we've made it in time. Even during the disaster 5 years ago, the energy was never this overwhelming. The seal has broken. There's no doubt about it. So somebody else is about to die in some ways, it sounds like. That's not good. Yuza, my dude. Has great humor as well, as also likes to tuck on your emotions. Nice. That's sounds pretty classic anime. Like, I think a lot of the best animes that I enjoy have those elements where it's like it's funny when it needs to be, and it's super heart tugging when it needs to be as well. I love that kind of thing. So it sounds like it's right on my alley, man. You're selling it to me. So another run of Pokemon Infinite Fusion Saturday. Nice. I am waiting for more news on Persona 4 Revival and a release date on Might and Magic Olden Era. Nice. Sounds good. Sounds like you got a whole list of stuff going on. So that's awesome, dude. I'm trying to think of Pokemon Infinite Fusion. I don't know that I've heard of that one. There's so many Pokemon games now. I feel like I miss out on a lot of them. I just heard of that, what's that? Pokopia one or whatever, the one that just came out. That's like what's it like? Animal Crossing or whatever, like Pokemon Animal Crossing. I thought that was an interesting thing, an interesting direction for them to go with it. It honestly looks like it could be pretty fun. I don't have a Switch 2 though, so I don't know when I'll get around to that one. But it does look pretty cool. Yeah, what's Pokemon Infinite Fusion? What kind of game is that? I can't believe I haven't heard of it. I need to keep up with Pokemon, apparently. Guess I don't play enough Pokemon games, to be fair. The seal has broken, there's no doubt about it. So it's already broken. That isn't good. The sea still seems calm, though. Does the storm not break out immediately? Yes, something seems to be holding it back for now. Oh? So there's a silver lining, at least. It seems stable for the moment. We probably have 2 or 3 days of safety. Then we've got a bit of breathing room. Perhaps there's still something we can do. Curse of the Raging Waves. Oh, that's pretty cool. It looks like that old school. I wish I remember the artist because they were a big part of the last game, but that artist that made those really cool wave painting that's really famous. I wish I could remember the name of it. It is a cool painting. It reminds me of that. A curse that causes an outbreak of turbulent waves and violent storms in the seas around Kamishima. It is said that the curse was born from the resentment of the former residents of Taishima, an island once located in the south of Kamishima, after someone brought about its destruction. Some believe that several of the disasters that have struck Kamishima in the past were actually caused by this curse in some manner, including the Kamishima South Sea disaster that occurred 5 years ago. The person accused of bringing the curse to Kamishima was called the Raging Waves Curse Bearer and was shunned by the island's inhabitants. Oh man, I haven't heard Curse Bearer since the last game. Are you a Curse Bearer? Infinite Fusion is a community game on PC where you can fuse Pokemon together. Oh, interesting. Huh, that's different. It's a community game. The fusion sprites are made by the community on their Discord server where you can upload designs to be added into the game for the fusions of Pokemons. Whoa, no wonder I've not heard of that. It's really cool. It's on the Fire Red Leaf Green engine. Huh. Here, let me do a quick little search so I have a tab up for that later because that sounds something interesting to look into. Pokemon Infinite Fusion, is that what it's called? Yeah, Infinite. Pokecommunity.com, this might be the place to be. Okay, yeah, it looks like I found a page on it. Wow, here's a bunch of pictures of crazy combos of Pokemon. That's interesting. Over 250,000 possible combinations. Huh. Sprites handcrafted by the community. I'll have to check that out. I got it pulled up now. Definitely gonna check that out later. Thanks for telling me about that. That is an interesting project. Honestly, pretty ingenious too. It does sound like something that the Pokemon company wouldn't do, so makes sense that it's a community thing. I hope that the Pokemon company doesn't do anything, or like Nintendo, to take it down, because there's been a few of those that have happened in the past that were like really lame and really sad. Like Pokemon Uranium was one that I was really upset about because they were trying to use like all unique assets. Like they made an entire new series of Pokemon, but then like they still got like threatened or whatever. So I mean, at least there's still copies of it you can play out there if you can find one. I have a copy, but it just sucks that they didn't get to like really benefit from all the work they did, it felt like. So I don't know, sometimes the Pokemon company does some lame stuff like that, you know, but we still love Pokemon. State of the Sea. I hope we can do something about the curse of the Raging Waves while it's still being held back. Yes, but despite all efforts, we still haven't found a way to lift the curse. We might have quite a struggle ahead of us. That's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? And we have no idea where your ancestors' keepsake is either. I apologize on behalf of my family. Well, the keepsake, I wonder what that is. Your family's keepsake. Should we try thinking? Is there going to be something different? Okay, yeah, it is different. Okay. I am concerned about the curse of the Raging Waves, but without knowing how to lift it, there's not much we can do right now.
Having 2 or 3 days does give us some leeway. We can focus on this incident for now while looking for a way to lift the curse.
Oh, he looks mad. Ma'am, behind you.
Behind me?
Oh. Some scary looking woman.
Who's that? Just someone from town passing by?
Oh God, that look on her face.
Ah, she bolted. Soto, after her.
On it. Hey, stop!
Let me go! I didn't do nothing wrong!
I've apprehended the suspect.
Good work. Sorry for the rough handling. Mind helping us out a bit? What were you doing here? Why did you run? What? Don't get smart with me. You're the suspicious ones, sneaking around and poking into things. You think folks won't be wary of the shady types like you wandering through town? Ah, I see. Sorry if we gave you such a scare. We're with the police. Nothing shady here. You're with the police? Seriously? You heard about the skeletal remains found nearby, yes? That's what we're looking into. You don't look like police. Say, do you live around here? There's something I'd like you to take a quick look at. Do you recognize this face at all? We believe he may have been around here about 6 years ago. Huh? Nope. Don't know him. I see. Then could you point us in the direction of someone who might know about people coming and going in town? No idea. Ask whoever you want. Can I go now? I've got nothing to do with this. Don't know a thing. All right. Sorry for holding you up.
Is she suspicious? You see, they are continuously adding new mons to the game as well as adding new quest lines as well. Oh, that's cool. They added a Team Rocket plot line to Infinite Fusion. That's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, definitely have to check it out then. It's cool that they have like custom quests and stuff too.
What a peculiar woman. It was like her mind was somewhere else entirely. Well, either way, we should talk to more people in town.
Agreed.
Also, could you ask around and find out who that woman is?
Of course. Several hours later. Ma'am, I've learned a few things.
Excellent, let's hear it.
Should look around a little bit again. Looks like surroundings has an update. The port and town center are down that way, though this area is technically the outskirts. It's a quiet town, so a stranger loitering here would definitely attract attention.
And that's a good point.
Nothing else about the surroundings? Nope.
He didn't so much as flinch at the thought of the tedious door-to-door investigation, not to mention he's good at it. Having him here is a huge help.
About the port. Oh, actually, let's think.
We split up to ask around town, but all the leads I found didn't actually lead anywhere. I'm just not cut out for this kind of legwork.
About the portrait sketch. I showed the sketch to the victim, I showed the sketch of the victim to several townsfolk. However, it would seem that no one here recognized him at all.
Unfortunate. I suppose chances are he wasn't from the area to begin with. Guess we'll have to place our hopes on Detective Ide then. You don't suppose we might be working with a bad sketch here?
You needn't worry about that. I'm confident in the likeness.
It should be a near-perfect match.
Man, he is very confident.
All right, I'm sure it's close. Sorry for doubting you.
About the woman.
I also asked around about the woman we encountered earlier. Apparently, she isn't originally from this town.
Oh, is that so?
Indeed. Apparently she wandered into town about 5 years ago.
About 5 years ago. Whoa. The timing on that.
She's been living alone in a cheap rental apartment on the outskirts of town ever since. When she first arrived, she had nothing but an old wooden box, which she was clutching as if it were very dear to her.
Nothing but an old wooden box.
Supposedly, she used to work as an diver. Around when she first moved here, she'd occasionally go diving for fish. But these days, she keeps to herself, and no one ever sees her diving anymore. No one really knows how she supports herself, and many of the islanders find her unsettling.
Perhaps she fled from something that moved her life here.
That was suggested, yes, but she's never spoken about her past, so no one knows for sure. Although according to her landlord, she's never been late on rent. And she's never caused any problems either.
Still, it seems odd she'd get so worked up about strangers coming to town. Doesn't seem like she's in any position to be worrying about that. You think she might be hiding something?
It's possible. Her attitude changed the moment we said we were with the police. Perhaps she was keeping watch over the coast where the bodies were dumped, waiting to see if someone showed up.
Right. I mean, the most recent body is from 6 years ago, and she arrived in town 5 years back. The timing is rather suspicious when you look at it like that. We'd best keep an eye on her.
Agreed.
Were you able to get her name?
Apparently her last name is Somekawa, but I didn't manage to get her first name.
Somekawa. Oh man, I wish I remember the connections. We know a Somekawa. That's not Yuza's last name, is it? Somekawa? Hold on, do we have a profile? No, it's a Minakuchi, so who's Somekawa? Don't we know a Somekawa? We've seen the name, but we don't have a profile for someone with that name. Okay. God, I wish I could remember the significance of that. That's a connection for sure. Okay. Somekawa. Why does that name sound so familiar? Right? Right? I'm right there with you.
You've heard it before.
I think so, but I can't quite remember where. But I'm a woman who cast off her past long ago. I guess I shouldn't let it bother me.
Not this again.
Let's leave any time-consuming background checks to Detective Ide.
Very well. I'll inform him.
Profiles updated. Somekawa. God, there's something we've learned about Somekawa. Just every time I see the name, it's just like, I know I read it last week. A woman living in Toba. Although she occasionally does work as an diver, it is unclear who she is and where she came from. She apparently showed up in Toba about 5 years ago with nothing but a grubby wooden box to her name and has been living here ever since.
Interesting.
No, profiles updated? Oh, no, it's the same one. I forget I have to exit out of that every time. Oh, we should think. Maybe she has a new thought. Nope, that's the same thought.
Hey there, Loki Pokey. Good boy. Good puppy.
About the woman. So this means that woman might have been marking us. Oh, wait, so might have been marking us since we. Wait, yeah, okay. Marking us? Is that like watching? I don't know. That's a weird use of that word, I think. So this means that that woman might have been marking us since we got here.
It's possible. I apologize for not noticing sooner. Even a moment's lapse can expose one to a curse. I was careless, but I won't let it happen again.
You can be cursed that easily? That's terrifying.
What a world we live in. That concludes all the information I gathered from my inquiries. That helps a lot, thanks. Shall I summarize our next steps? Yes, I suppose we need to do something about all this. Let's see. About the unidentified skeletons, about the curse of the raging waves. The skeletons? Regarding the unidentified skeletons. Until we can identify the victim from the sketch, we have no other leads to move forward. I believe this is best left to the Detective Ide's hands. Yes, agreed. And I think the same goes for that Somikawa woman from earlier. We'll have Detective Ide look into her. It's nice to have someone who we can rely on. Agreed on that end too. In other words, we can safely leave the skeleton case to him for now. Yes, though we should remain vigilant regarding the curse stones. About the curse of the raging waves. Regarding our main objective, or the so-called curse of the raging waves. Without knowing how to lift it, there's not much we can do right now. I don't suppose there's a chance you'd be able to break the curse using brute force? You're quite good at that. It's certainly an option if worst comes to worst. I can't say I have high hopes it would work. I guess it would be more realistic to try to find some clues about the whereabouts of your ancestors' keepsake instead. Indeed. It is said that item may hold the key to lifting the curse of the raging waves. The even location of the map pointing to that keepsake was unfortunately been lost to time. I wonder if the keepsake was that sword that we heard about that was lost from was it the Heike clan or whatever? They had that sword that got lost into the water that was like their family sword. I wonder if that's his family's keepsake. Maybe? I don't know. Because the whole game has this diving element, so it could be something that's like underwater that maybe Yuza is going to find it or something while he's diving. I don't know, that could be interesting. Although the map was said to have been hidden inside the model of a mermaid mummy. A model of a mermaid mummy, okay. One rumor says it was sold overseas during the Edo period. Doesn't sound promising. If we can't find it, I guess we're back to trying to break the curse with brute force. But to even consider that route, we need much more intel from the island. Which is why we need to head to Kameshima. And at the very least, advise the locals to evacuate. Yes. Hopefully someone of influence there will believe us about the curse of the raging waves. Ah, that's why they're going to the magnate, because he's like the big rich man on the island. So they're trying to get him to believe them so maybe he can tell everybody to evacuate. But he's kind of like an asshole now, right? Because he's kind of like a douchebag rich guy now, even though he started out as being like a guy helping everybody out and that's how he got rich. Sounds like lately he's been a bit of a doucher. But we'll see. Is something wrong? No. It's just that one of the islanders I spoke with seems to be calling me over. Some old man over there. Something may have happened. I'll go find out. Please do. Ma'am. What is it? The person who called me over shared a new piece of information. They were told to keep it secret, but opened up since we're with the police. Go on. Earlier this morning, down by the shore, they apparently found something that resembled the corpse of a mermaid. A mermaid? Really? That same person reported to a local authority and was immediately ordered to tell no one, not even the police. You're kidding me. That local authority then contacted an unknown individual. Soon after, someone came and secretly retrieved the mermaid corpse. That couldn't be more suspicious, could it? Exactly. They were uneasy about the whole thing, which is why they confided in me. What shall we do? Did they describe what the mermaid looked like? Yes. They said from the head to the shoulders it was human, but below that entirely fish. it was not the classic mermaid from fairy tales, it would seem. Only the head was human. They also said it was completely dried out, almost mummified. The face was unrecognizable. But they thought it resembled a local ama diver named Tamiko Suma. What? Apparently, she went out diving alone this morning and hasn't returned. That's likely what worried the witness the most. That is troubling. Damn it. Just what we needed, more things to deal with. First things first, let's deal with the mermaid story. Come on. And that, I think, is what we did last time. Yeah, that would lead to this one. Oh, but there's something that happens between it. Issei Shima investigation. Okay. Yeah, this was a mermaid investigation as well. So we got something in the middle here. Okay. Cool. Well, we're going to do that one next, but I need to take my dog out on a walk really quick. Let him do his business. So we're going to take a quick BRB for a few, and then I'll be back and we will continue the story. So yeah, don't go away. There's more to see after this. Right. I'm back from the dog walk. Well, that took a little bit longer than expected. We went on the long route this time. Loki really wanted to. So, we do it, Loki. Right, Loki? Yeah. Good boy. He's a good pup. Okay. Now, we're going to try to work our way up to the present. We still got another thing here. The Issei Shima investigation. Issei Shima investigation. Yumiko Shiki. From her perspective. Summary of previous events. A mermaid corpse has been discovered on the beach near Ijika town, while Yumiko and her partner are investigating its whereabouts. They run into an important local figure. Some ancient man. Start. Here we go. Date unknown, August 1980 something in the afternoon. Pardon me. Whew. A little burp there. Mr. Yamashina, thank you for agreeing to meet with us on such short notice. I understand you're a busy man. Not like I have much choice when it's some bigwig from the prefectural police badgering me to do so. So, you're Shiki from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. Security Division, was it? And here I thought you were just some housemaid. You sure you're from the police in that getup? Well, I'm primarily a housewife by trade, but that's hardly important right now. I need to be a housewife by trade. That seems weird. You're also known as Unkaku Dono. I believe, after hearing so many rumors, it's an honor to make your acquaintance. Rumors, eh? Yoshaisu Yamashina. Profile's updated. A wealthy tycoon who owns multiple companies and swaths of land, particularly in the Su and Issei areas. Born in the Taisho period, unmarried. His family first came into business with in the Edo period, traveling from town to town selling talismans, miscanthus, reed hoops. Wait, I'm still stuck on this one. Miscanthus? Reed hoops? Miscanthus. I've never seen that word before. Let me find out what it means. Miscanthus. Am I even saying that right? A genus of tall, perennial grasses native to Asia, often grown as ornamental plants or as high-yield, sustainable bioenergy crop. Okay, so it's just like a grass, like a type of grass. Talismans, miscanthus, reed hoops, and okay, I guess that's why the reed hoops, the reeds from the miscanthus. Okay. And other items to ward off evil spirits. During the Meiji period, this business expanded into a trading company, and the Yamashina family became prominent contributors to the development of the region. Born to the heir of the Yamashina family business and the daughter of a noble family, Yoshitsu
grew up in a affluential environment where he received a thorough education tailored to gifted children. Following the end of the war, Yoshitsu inherited the company assets in his 30s, but was quick to sell off all the shares he owned, using the proceeds to buy and sell real estate and stocks, a practice that made him extremely wealthy. After amassing this fortune, he showed a keen interest in investing in ambitious young people, actively mentoring those he took a particular liking to. This approach led to the emergence of many successful businessmen, which included Shinobu Wakamura and Kameshima. Those who have received Yamashina's support view him with both gratitude and a sense of awe bordering on reverence, referring to him as Unkaku Dono, a title that invokes a figure elevated above the clouds. Interesting. Honestly, sounds like a great thing to do as an older person, to just steward young people into doing what you know how to do. Kind of like, teaching them, about mentoring them. It just sounds like that would be a cool thing. Maybe one day I can mentor somebody on something. Maybe. It sounds like a nice thing. Yamashina has always shown a strong attachment to wealth, even going so far as to partake in illicit activities such as illegal donations, tax evasion, insider trading, and media control, all in an effort to garner even more status and money. It sounds like a real piece of shit then. Doing all the shitty stuff that just fucks everybody else over so you can make money. That's what that sounds like to me. In the shadow of the many success stories enabled by his support, many more of his beneficiaries have fallen into bankruptcy or even been arrested, fueling endless unsavory rumors about him to this day. Yamashina himself, however, seems to be unconcerned by these rumors, considering anything that does not directly harm him to be beneath his notice. Even as a lifelong bachelor, he has surrounded himself with many followers, both publicly and privately, and has never lacked for anything to satisfy his personal needs. A few years ago, he began to seriously consider the issue of a successor, driven by his determination that his beloved fortune should never fall into the hands of someone untrustworthy. Perhaps for this reason, he began to develop a keen fascination with immortality around the same time, and is said to be secretly investing vast amounts of money into research on the topic. Another classic, this almost seems like a freaking stereotype of rich people. So I try to control the media and evade taxes, insider trading, and immortality. All of those things are what rich people care about. It seems like when you have all the money in the world, what do you care about? Living forever, apparently. Crazy, dude. Crazy. They're probably the worst people to live forever, I feel like, as well. Crazy. What's also funny is I have my hand on my keypad as if I'm gonna use it at all when it's just a mouse game. I don't even need my keypad to be out. I think it's kind of funny. Keep resting my hand on it like I'm gonna go into gaming mode or something. Yes, I hear you've been doing some under the table research into immortality. And so what if I am? Well, now, I wouldn't have expected you to be such a dreamer, but it does make you just a bit more relatable. You can laugh all you want. What's it got to do with the police anyway?
It seems on this particular occasion, it has quite a bit to do with the police, unfortunately.
You don't say.
Surroundings. These splendid gardens all fall within the grounds of Mr. Yamashina's Ise City estate.
That's beautiful, I will say.
Part of me wonders why he needs so much space when he doesn't have a family. But I suppose he has an image to maintain.
There's so much detail. I just thought maybe there would be something else to remark on in the front. Oh, what's that? Mockingbird 09 discovered. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about this in the last game. There was a bunch of stickers of weird birds that you'd find if you keep looking around. Mockingbirds. These popular bird mascot stickers seem to pop up everywhere. Nobody knows who the artist is behind these quirky, rough and tumble birds, or where they'll show up next. But they quickly became popular for their bizarre yet oddly cute designs. Be in the right place at the right time in Ise and the surrounding areas, and you might just be able to find all 20 of them. Reach a total of 5 and 20 stickers collected to unlock fun bonus content at these milestones. Oh, there was one on the seabed. Okay, I gotta keep a closer eye out for those. I totally forgot those existed. But those were definitely in the last game. So that's a reason to look at the surroundings too. It'd be cool if there was more that the characters would remark about though. You know, at least they added the stickers. That's something. Let's look at Soto. See what we got in mind about him. People like Yamashina have a tendency to underestimate me whenever I meet them alone. Having someone intimidating like Soto with me gets them to take me more seriously. I'm glad he's here with me today. Take a look at him. This is Yosaitsu Yamashina. He's a tycoon with multiple properties and companies to his name, mostly based here in Iseshima. He's long been rumored to have been involved in various shady dealings. Special Investigations has had an eye on him for a while now, but they haven't managed to find any concrete evidence so far. I mean, it seems like since his ancestors used to sell talismans, it seems like there's probably some sort of supernatural thing going on with this guy, right? Maybe he's got some inherent ability. It seems he has a knack for pinning the blame on his subordinates before finding a way to slip away. Needless to say, he and the police are quite familiar with each other by this point. Though I don't doubt he has local police chiefs and politicians under his thumb behind the scenes. There's no need for me to get involved in all that. I'll be satisfied as long as I get the information we need from him. Let's have ourselves a little think. After looking into the corpse of the mermaid found earlier this morning, it seems highly likely that it was taken into the custody of Mr. Yamashina here. He's quite the big shot around here, with plenty of weight to throw around with both politically and financially. Of course, all the local police know him, and of his moniker, Unkaku Dono. He had to get one of the higher-ups to act as an intermediary to even get a meeting with him. Or we had to, I think I said he. Personally, I'm happy as long as we can get the mermaid corpse back from him. Although I certainly won't complain if he can tell us anything about the curse as well. I hear he's quite the curmudgeon, so we'll have to watch our step when dealing with him. Okay. Oh, and then there's still more to think about by looking at him. Apparently he wears that crested hakama every day. Not exactly casual wear for most people. Wearing something like that in this summer heat, that's commitment to keeping up appearances. Yeah, it looks very warm, dude. I'd be dying in there. I'll get straight to the point. I believe you took a mermaid corpse into your possession this morning. What? That corpse is linked to the ongoing case. We came here to ask you to release it to the police custody. No idea what you're on about. Of course. You will get something in return. We have some information I'm sure you'll find quite profitable in exchange. Like I said, no idea what you're on about. If that's all you came here for, then scram. Oh, pity. I really thought you'd be interested in what I had to share. Assuming you really are interested in immortality. I'm just noticing she's got like bruises or something around her neck right there. Are those like finger? There's two separate marks. They almost look like fingers, like somebody gripped her throat or something. Like that could be like a part of like the thumb and the palm and the fingers maybe. I don't know. It's interesting. Or it could just be shadows from a tree nearby, but I don't know. I don't think that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe we'll learn more about that. Immortality, you say? Well, I suppose we barely know each other. It's only natural that you'd be wary of our intentions. What do you say to a little chat to get to know each other better, Mr. Unkaku Dono? She's trying to sweeten him up. About Yamashina, about Yumiko, about mermaids, about portrait sketch. Start with something more broad about Yamashina.
I hear you've been putting quite a bit of effort into training up the younger generation recently. What's your take on today's youth?
Useless, a lot of them. Bunch of pushovers that have all let this new generation tripe go to their heads. We're the ones who built this country back up after the war, but they're out there strutting around like they own the place. Far too big for their britches.
My, what a scathing review. Would our resident member of the new generation like to comment at all?
Please don't call me that.
Are you even searching for a successor, though? Given your strong opinions on the matter, I take that you're struggling. Though I can see why that could lead to a desire for immortality. After all, there's no need to succeed your legacy to someone else if you can remain in the reins yourself,
That might have been true when I started my research.
Oh, I take it that it isn't the case now.
I'm no spring chicken. The thought of living for hundreds of years like this ain't exactly appealing anymore. Don't see much point in immortality if I'm already long past my prime.
Well, that certainly is different from the rumors. My apologies for jumping to conclusions. You have my wholehearted agreement that immortality doesn't necessarily bring happiness, though.
It's interesting that they've said that like twice, because Ide said that too. Detective Ide, I believe he also talked about like how he doesn't think that he would be able to be happy for forever, so he doesn't want to live for forever. Let me clear up one more thing while you were at it. I've already decided on my successor.
Oh?
Turns out the perfect candidate was right under my nose the entire time. I haven't told them yet, but they're a sharp one. They'll do a fine job.
Is that so? I'm glad to hear it. I suppose that would mean that you no longer have any need for immortality then.
Who said I wasn't still interested? Simply has nothing to do with my successor. I still intend on continuing my research for medical advancement, you understand. Think of it as doing my bit for society. You lot are always quick to assume the worst or whatever I do. How about you mind your own business for a change?
Well, there's not much we can say to that. We'll try to be more discerning from now on.
We're gonna think something different now? Okay, yeah, a little bit.
All we have up our sleeve is information on immortality. Suppose we'll just have to hope he takes the bait.
Okay, let's keep talking about him. I've already chosen my successor. No need to harp on about it anymore. I've already written up my will and passed it off to my lawyer. You be sure to let your friends at the police know too. Okay. About Yumiko. By the way, you're obviously not just some run-of-the-mill cop. Who are you?
Why, I believe I mentioned it when I introduced myself. I am just a simple housewife.
A likely tale. Plus, that fellow next to you's also got a strange air about him. He's no ordinary person, is he?
My, how observant of you. I suppose you could say that, yes?
Doesn't take a genius to see it. One of them phony psychic types, are you? Phony? Hit a nerve, did I? There are far too many of your kind around lately. Posing up with those in power by feeding them a bunch of nonsense. Liars and cheaters, all of you.
You seem to have quite the chip on your shoulder about this, Mr. Yamashina.
Don't know if it's because of this occult craze going around, but I've seen far too many folks get taken in by that tripe. Occult craze. Spiritual phenomena, the supernatural, aliens, cryptids, lost civilizations, extrasensory perception. The list goes on. Such unexplainable phenomena are quick to take on a life of their own. A plesiosaur named Nessie living in Loch Ness. Sightings of mythical creatures like the Tsuchikunoko or Hibagon. The urban legends of the Kuchisake Onna and Hanoko-san, television reports of spoon-bending psychics, documentaries featuring spirit photography and UFOs that become the talk of the school the next day. These are only a few examples of stories that have captivated the public's interest. Magazines specializing in paranormal phenomena continue to thrive, with no end to the craze in sight. This makes me think of Dan to Dan. Okaroon's obsession with all that stuff. I guess he's more like the aliens, right? What Wakamura over on Kamishina is one of them. Talk about a waste of potential. That Wakamura. Wakamura is the magnate on Kamishima, right? He's the rich guy. I think Wakamura. Sounds right. Wakamura. Double check. I'm pretty sure that's the rich guy. Yeah. He's the magnate. Yeah. Wakamura. Okay, she's just thinking about the mortality thing, so. Okay, let's keep talking about Yumiko. Can't say I care much about who you are anymore. You going around with some phony psychic tells me all I need to know. How dare you? Toto, calm down. He can think what he wants. Okay, about mermaids. There is one thing I should warn you about. Eating the flesh of that mermaid you found won't grant you immortality. And what would you know about that? Well, you know, one hears all sorts of things in this day and age. I don't know where it came from, but there seems to be a legend that eating mermaid flesh will grant you immortality. All I wanted to say was that it's just that, a legend. It has no basis in reality at all. How can you be so sure? Just think about it. If that legend were true, wouldn't it be strange that no confirmed immortals have ever been found? Yeah? Who's to say they aren't just living in hiding? The legend of Yao Bikuni is passed down in over 100 places across Japan, yet not a single verifiable immortal has ever been found to show for it. So you mean to say all those legends were fake? Please. If even just one of those tales is true, there's always the chance there's an immortal hiding away somewhere. I see. You really are quite the dreamer, aren't you? I figured you were trying to bluff me out of that mermaid corpse for some reason or another. Now I'm sure of it. That thing's hiding some sort of secret, isn't it? Something you don't want me to find out. Yeah, she looked really pissed there. We got a new thought? Okay, no, same thought. Okay. About mermaids. So you admit you have the mermaid corpse then? Oh, don't worry, we assumed as much from the start. If I'm not mistaken, that mermaid was in a sort of a mummified state, no? I doubt you'll be eating it as it is. Surely there's no harm in handing it over. So you can hog it for yourself? You won't fool me that easily. You don't think that a rare specimen like that ought to be placed in the care of the proper research institute? I'm saying I'll get a specialist research institute to study it. Problem solved. I suppose so. I'll make sure that mermaid gets studied properly. Don't you worry about that. Okay, we're done with the mermaid stuff. Any more thoughts? Yep, new thought.
Perhaps he isn't as fixated on immortality as I thought. It leaves us in a rather unfavorable position. How should we approach this now, I wonder?
Let's keep talking about mermaids. Apparently, I thought that was going to be done. Oh no, we need to say something and then we'll come back to it. I forgot the game does that sometimes. Where then I have to do something with one of these that will trigger this one to get more. Okay. About the portrait sketch. By the way, you're quite well connected around these parts. Am I not mistaken? This doesn't have anything to do with what we came here to talk about. But I was wondering if you happen to recognize the person in the sketch. Seems he lived in the Ise-shima area around 6 years ago. Nope, never seen him. I assume you've heard the news about the old human bones found on the seabed.
This is a sketch of one of the victims from that case. You sure you have no idea who it could be?
First I've heard of it, actually. Got no interest in things that have nothing to do with me. Okay, Wakamura.
Who might this Wakamura be?
Wakamura? He's one of my proteges. He's the one currently in charge over in Kamishima. Used to have the high hopes for that one, but that changed when he came under the thrall of some phony sorcerer in Tokyo.
A phony sorcerer in Tokyo?
You heard right. Since then, there's been no end to this nonsense. Buying properties out in the mountains, changing company names, all because of something this sorcerer whispered in his ear. He even told me the layout of my house was unlucky and tried to get me to renovate the place. Just recently, he was going on about some curse causing a big storm and sort of rubbish.
A storm caused by a curse, you say?
He even said the storm 5 years ago was caused by the same curse. He's been trying to wheedle me into helping him find some way to stop it. But I'm done with him and his ramblings. Man's clearly lost cause. He'll be coming over here tomorrow morning, but I'm thinking it's time to have someone else take the reins over at Kamishima. You got that much influence you can take away all of his power? Is that true? Damn, dude. Just give someone a bunch of money or something?
I see. So even though you believe in immortality, you refuse to associate with anything to do with the occult.
And you do? I figured someone claiming to be a cop would have more sense than that. How are you meant to solve crimes if criminals can just pull out curses left and right?
You won't find me disagreeing there. So what exactly was this Wakamura been saying about this curse?
Well, if I remember, why don't you go to Kamishima, or sorry, hell if I remember. Why don't you go to Kamishima and ask the man yourself?
Maybe we will. Thank you for the information.
Still talk about Wakamura.
Is there anything you can tell us about the phony sorcerer this Wakamura is so devoted to?
Wakamura went on about how they were some big shot who appeared on television. I never heard of him. As I said, just ask him yourself.
Of course, we'll be sure to do so. About mermaids. How about this then? If you agree to give up the mermaid, we'll tell you what we know in return. For someone who doesn't seem to believe in the occult, you seem awfully fixated on this mermaid and immortality, which suggests to me that you found something you consider quite conclusive.
Bob, what are you on about now?
Well, I happen to know a bit more about mermaids than most people.
Ma'am, are you sure?
It's fine. I had the opportunity to do some research into them a while back, you see.
You don't say. And?
Well, mermaids do indeed have the ability to grant a human immortality.
Ha! I knew it.
More precisely, individuals granted immortality in this way are known as 800-year immortals.
So they have a lifespan of 800 years.
That's right. As the name suggests, they gain 800 years of remaining life. During this time, they won't age a day, and even if they die, they'll resurrect immediately.
Sounds like a real blessing.
Does it, though?
I feel like if you die and then you resurrect, does that mean that your wounds get healed, or are you just in pain now? I feel like immortality always comes with some cost.
No, I'm afraid it's anything but. One who defies the very laws of nature like that is no longer human. They are an anomalous being that should not be allowed to exist. As such, our position requires that any such individuals we find are dealt with as swiftly as possible. Indeed, this immortality was originally a curse mermaids placed upon humans.
A curse?
Immortality is neither a blessing nor salvation for the living. It's a curse that robs them of the ability to die. None of those who have become 800-year-old immortals have found happiness, not one. It renders living among other humans impossible. It makes them an outcast from society. Of course, there are a few years at first when life will be tolerable. But after that, every meeting ends in parting. You outlive whomever you love or are loved by. Even if you find acceptance, it will only be for a time. You will always be shunned eventually. You'll experience this over and over for 800 years. 800 years unable to die, with loneliness as your constant companion. This is why many see no other resource than a life of monastic seclusion, just as Yao Bikuni did.
I suppose that makes sense. Still, there'll always be those who seek immortality. Always have, always will be.
You think so? I, for one, struggle to see the appeal. In any case, there are also certain conditions that must be met for this curse of immortality to be effective. Eating mermaid's flesh alone isn't enough to make you an 800-year-old immortal, or 800-year immortal.
Oh, and what exactly are these conditions?
Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not aware of the specifics there myself.
800-year immortal, a person who has gained an 800-year lifespan after being cursed by a mermaid. Someone who ingests part of the body of a mermaid that meets certain conditions will be cursed and become a being known as an 800-year immortal. Once cursed, the individual's own body is lost, and a provisional body is reconstructed using the parts of the mermaid ingested as a medium. Wait, hold on, what? The individual's own body is lost, and a provisional body is reconstructed using the parts of the mermaids ingested as a medium. So you eat part of it or whatever, and then the mermaid's dead body becomes you, and then your body just goes away? That sounds crazy. Their soul is then transferred to this provisional body, which they are able to control as if it were their own, with their consciousness presiding over both their soul and body from the head. As such, they could hardly be considered to be more spirit in nature than human. Sorry, they could already be considered. I think I said hardly. They could already be considered to be more spirit in nature than human. Weird. That's a weird way for that to work. I did not expect that. If an individual is fatally wounded or contracts an illness that results in their death, their body will instantly be restored to its default state, allowing them to revive. In the event they lose any body parts, their heart will treat the largest remaining part of them as their main body and regenerate any lost parts from there, with the removed parts subsequently vanishing. This even occurs in the event that the lost body part is the head. However, these individuals heal from non-fatal wounds at only a slightly faster rate than their bodies would be capable of naturally. Huh. So only if it's a fatal wound, they regrow the limb or it's like a full sever. Huh, that's interesting. It kind of makes sense that it wouldn't be their body anymore for it to have this ability. But that's interesting. Weird. As these people feel physical sensations and pain to the same extent that they would have in their original body, it is extremely difficult to tell whether an individual is an 800-year immortal or not unless they die, even for the individual themselves. The lifespan for this provisional body is 800 years from the time of its creation. Due to the individual's original body already being lost, not even the mermaid responsible for the original curse is able to dispel it. The individual will only see the end of their long life once 800 years have passed. Dude, that does sound like a prison sentence. Like a weird purgatory. Man, living for 800 years. Honestly, when I think about that stuff, it seems like I don't think I want to be one of those people. Living that long? It's like after a while, wouldn't you just want to fucking take a break? But I can say this much at least. The mummy you have in your possession is not mermaid. Or is no mermaid. I don't know why I said not. Is no mermaid. Huh? Bullshit. Ain't no way that's anything other than a mermaid. What I mean to say is that mummy is a different being from the mermaids who wield this curse. Not all half-fish, half-human beings are mermaids, you see. In fact, calling them all by the same name is what leads to mishaps like this one. Say what? You mean to tell me that's not a mermaid? That real mermaids are a completely separate thing? That's right.
which is why I can say with confidence that eating its flesh won't make you immortal.
Seems like you weren't bluffing after all. So what is that thing then? There's got to be some reason you're after it.
I imagine that even if you had it desiccated and examined, or sorry, dissected, not desiccated, why did I say that? I imagine that even if you had it dissected and examined, all results would point to it being just a mass of fibers, in other words, nothing more than a man-made fake. There's a very good reason for that, you see. That mummy is merely the corpse of an average human, twisted beyond recognition by the curse of the Forsaken Fish.
What? Another curse?
Another curse wielded by mermaids, as it happens. That would be the remains of someone who died under it. It also happens to be the same curse responsible for the mermaids found every few hundred years or so across the country. You see now why we'd rather you handed the mermaid over to us? The poor soul deserves a proper burial, same as anyone else. Surely even you're not so hard-hearted as to deny them that.
Curses this, curses that. It's all a bunch of hokum, if you ask me. That said, the report I got from the Research Institute earlier said exactly the same thing.
Oh my, I take it you already had the mermaid dissected then.
They said it was likely a fake, but asked if I wanted them to keep going anyway. I told them to keep at it, but...
It should be clear now that you have nothing to gain from researching that corpse. Least of all information on immortality. Would you consider handing it over? Of course, we could always take you in on charges of abandonment and desecration of a corpse.
All right. Have it your way.
I'm so glad you've come around. Thank you for your cooperation.
Now let's think. No, same thought as earlier. I don't know what Soto would have to say. We haven't talked to Soto yet.
I'm amazed we were able to get an appointment with him this quickly. Yes, and all thanks to Detective Ide. It would seem he's quite the capable fellow.
That's all he's got to say, okay. About mermaids. I'll give you the damn mermaid, but in exchange, I want you to tell me one thing.
What is it?
You say there are real mermaids out there. Where are these real mermaids hiding then?
I suppose you could call it the eternal world.
The eternal world?
Yes, mermaids are not creatures of this world, you see. Their original home is Ryugu, the domain of the sea god.
Ryugu? And how do you get there?
I'm sorry to say that Ryugu's doors are only open to the dead. Going there is impossible for a living human.
Huh. You should claim anything but with a fairy tale like that. Or you could claim anything with a fairy tale like that. It all sounds like hokum. Yeah, it really does.
That said, the entrance to Ryugu is said to lie somewhere in the Ise Sea. There have been numerous sightings of mermaids crossing over to this world in the area's long history. Which is why Ise Bay has its share of mermaid legends too.
Now that you mention it, I have heard one of those stories too. Some old tale about mermaids being found on some long-lost island called Saishima or the like.
What? Wait a moment. Where did you hear that story?
Aha! Got your interest, have I? Looks like this story has some merit to it after all.
I was simply surprised, that's all. It's not a name I've come across in any historical records.
It really did bother her. Saishima.
An island said to have previously been located to the south of Kamishima. As it has long since vanished, it is sometimes referred to as Teishima, or Lost Island. No official records remain, and it remains shrouded in mystery, with knowledge of it preserved only in tales passed down between residents of the Ise Shima area.
Legends say the island was besieged by someone 400 years prior, and the curse of the murdered islanders caused the entire island to sink. That was linked to that Heike clan thing, right? Because they talked about the island being, like, I guess sinking. I don't know if that's the word they used, but the island vanished sort of in that story. It's just something I heard from one of the youngins I have out there looking for mermaids. I see. Sounds like you've got a capable young hand. I don't suppose it would be possible to meet with this individual? Nope, not happening. Unless you're willing to spill the beans on everything you know about mermaids. Every last bit of info. Maybe, just maybe, I'll consider it then. It's clear you're no ordinary housewife after all. Not interested? Then this meeting is over. I'll hand the corpse over to the police as promised. But don't think I've given up on mermaids or immortality. If they really exist, I'll find them and make them mine. Guess she's got those I'll kill you eyes right now. Damn, dog. Oh, look at this. What are we doing? Why even bring this up if there's only one? I guess it's because it's like, oh, now you know we're going to Issei City. Okay. A bunch of brown dots everywhere. Oh, pardon me. All right, Issei City. Date unknown, August 1980 something. In the afternoon, Issei City area. Oh, is this when we meet the girls? Like when we're trying to find Wakamura's residence? That's E-Day. Hey there, you two. Sorry for calling you out here when you're so busy. I figured it'd be best to give you the rundown on our findings as soon as possible. It's no problem. Go ahead. Now let's look at some stuff. Poster, something different to look at. What have we here? Oh, this is a poster advertising Kamishima. Something about it catch your eye? No, I was just thinking, surely it would be better to put it somewhere tourists will actually see it. Good point. Maybe they had some posters left over. Surroundings. This is one of Issei City's residential districts. Right now, the ground is so hot the air around it seems to be shimmering. Police box. That's just a police box I was waiting at. Something you were wondering about? Oh no, I just happened to find myself looking at it, that's all. There's all these kids around, little ghosts of kids. Would you rather talk inside? Though there's no air conditioner, so it's probably cooler out here. No, it's quite alright. Talking out here should be fine. There's just those cicadas make it sound hot as fuck, in my opinion. I look for those bird stickers, you know what I mean? There's a little jump there. I'm really looking for one of them bird stickers. Only 20 of them. I guess maybe some scenes don't have one. I think I've pretty much looked everywhere. Did I look up high everywhere? Yeah. I wonder how small they could possibly be on the screen. Yeah, I think I've looked enough. All right, let's take a look at Soto. Despite the heat, Soto looks as unfurled as ever. I do hope he isn't just pretending to be all right. Let's hear what Detective Ide has to say. I could still, well, look at the poster. Interested in Kamishima, are you? It's a nice place. Great tourist spot, too. I recommend it. Okay, finally done with that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at Ide. Wondering about my suit, are you? It's just a cheap old thing. Sorry, I don't have anything more presentable. About Yamashina. So, did you manage to meet up with Mr. Yamashina?
Yes, thank you again for your help there. Seems he's willing to hand the body over without any fuss.
Really? That's great. Still, why would some big shot tycoon go all that trouble to withhold a body? If everything I've heard is true, you could probably take him in on charges of desecrating a corpse, you know? Or was there something special about that corpse?
How observant of you, Detective. I can, of course, explain if you'd like to know more.
Wait a second, is it related to that secret department of yours? I think I'm better off not knowing if so.
Oh, really? I don't mind bringing you into the fold.
Ma'am, please stop trying to rope him into helping us. I've never met the guy, but I hear he's quite the cranky old geezer. How did your meeting go? I'll bet he was pretty wary of you being with the police, but he didn't try to pick a fight or anything, did he?
Ah, well, I'm not sure you could say it went smoothly, but I don't think we upset him, at least. Probably.
You, don't sound very sure about that. Let's think.
I still haven't told Detective Ide that the body Yamashina recovered was a so-called mermaid. Well, it's probably better he doesn't know any more than he needs to.
About the portrait sketch. Oh, right, that's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. So I got all hands on deck to go around asking about that sketch you gave me. And we finally found someone who recognized the victim.
Oh, that's great news.
The person who recognized him was a housewife in her 20s who lived in Kumano 7 years ago. Apparently the sketch looks like a 19-year-old she knew who left the village to go to the city.
So 7 years ago, he was 19, no?
From the sounds of it, the guy had no relatives to speak of. Left the village with nothing but the clothes on his back. She doesn't know what happened to him after that.
I see. That would make him a young man with no relatives who left his hometown behind 7 years ago. Did we get a name for our mystery man?
Sure did. His name was Kipe Ikoma.
Kipe Ikoma.
I looked him up in the residence registry, and it does look like he moved from Kumano to Ise City 7 years ago. But it seems he doesn't live at the place he put as his address anymore.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I checked in with the apartment's landlord, and it seems that about 6 years ago, the landlord had his contract terminated after he failed to both pay his rent and return to his apartment for several months straight. The landlord didn't put out a search request or anything, so that's where the trail ends, I'm afraid.
If he went missing 6 years ago, I suppose it wouldn't surprise me if those were his remains.
We'll keep looking into Ikoma to see if he was involved in anything that might have led to his murder. Of course, there's always a possibility that we got the wrong guy, so we'll keep asking around just in case.
Please do.
Okay. Testimonies indicate that the individual in this sketch resembles a youth by the name of Kipe Ikoma, who went missing 6 years ago. He has no known relatives. Victims are believed to have been killed by a curse wielded by someone connected to the Heike. I think the yellow parts are just the updated parts. I want to say that's how it works. You read all this other stuff before. About the portrait sketch. The woman we spoke to said that the sketch was really accurate. No doubt in her mind it was Ikoma.
Well, well, that accurate.
So then I'm sure we've got the right person. Still, How did you even make that sketch? There was nothing left of the victim but bones.
Ah, well, let's just say it's classified for now.
Right. Guess that means I shouldn't pry any further.
So the person in this sketch had no known relatives. If they went missing, it's unlikely anyone would notice.
About Somikawa. Oh yeah, I also looked into that lady you were asking about, Somikawa.
Oh, yes. Did you find anything?
Well, it seems she hasn't registered as a resident even though she moved here 5 years ago. And nothing came up for Somikawa in the civil registry either. So I'm afraid I don't have anything on who she is or where she came from. Sorry to disappoint you.
I see. Is that quite common?
It happens. It's not unheard of for folks from the countryside to come here for work and just drift on, with no one really knowing who they are. Apparently, it was really common during the post-war growth period.
Seems we have quite the mystery woman on our hands.
Yep. Though there's something I've been wondering about.
Oh? Let's hear it.
Do we have a different thought? Maybe we'll try thinking again real quick. Yeah, it's just a little bit different.
A message came in from Detective Ide just as we were about to head to Kamishima, so we stopped by to hear what he had to say. Impressively quick work on his part, to be sure. I just hope he has some good information for us.
About Somikawa.
You have some idea who she might be?
Well, have you heard of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster? It was a big maritime disaster that struck 5 years back.
I have, yes.
One of the victims of that disaster was an ama diver and a housewife from Kamishima by the name of Mare Minakuchi. But it seems her maiden name was Somikawa. That's why I remember Somikawa. It's Yuza's mother's maiden name. That's why I kept thinking about Yuza as well. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Because I thought she kind of looked like her too. She's got those sleepy eyes, just like Mare has. Huh, interesting.
So our mystery woman shares a surname with a maritime disaster victim. I'm impressed you managed to dig that up.
Yeah, I was already looking into the Kamishima disaster because of the skeletal remains, so it was a happy coincidence, if anything.
Oh, so you thought they might be related too? I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Anyway, seems like the bodies of those disaster victims were never found in the end, which got me thinking.
Wait, are you saying...
Yep. I was thinking that Mare Minakuchi could have survived the disaster 5 years ago.
And you think she then moved to Ichika and started going by her old name of Somikawa again?
That's right. What do you think?
Seems like a long shot, but maybe. But if that's the case, then why wouldn't she have stayed in Ichika for 5 whole years without thinking to contact her family?
Maybe she lost her memories in the disaster.
Right. If she only had her old memories to rely on, it wouldn't be that odd if she went back to using her old name.
Surely her appearance would still be the same, though. It is difficult to imagine no one recognizing her for 5 whole years. It's possible she just never ran into anyone she knew. That kind of thing's more likely than you'd think. Oh, speaking of appearances, I found a picture of Mare Minakuchi from a report on the disaster. I haven't met this Somikawa myself, so could you take a look for me and let me know what you think?
Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. What do you think, Soto?
If she'd aged 5 years and grown badly gaunt, I can certainly see how this woman might come to resemble Miss Somikawa. Yeah, because they do look somewhat similar, right? One just looks like malnutrition or whatever, not eating very well.
My thoughts exactly.
So you agree it's a pretty solid theory?
It's certainly worth looking into, yes.
But if she really is Mare Minakuchi, there's something else that concerns me.
Something else?
Think.
I can't deny Miss Somikawa and Mare Minakuchi closely resemble each other. But could there really be a connection there? Somikawa. Something about that name has been bothering me. Have I heard it somewhere before?
Have you? This is just what I heard. But it seems like the islanders over in Kamishima think that this Mare Minakuchi was the cause of the disaster 5 years ago.
What? Why would they think that?
No idea, but it seems like it's pretty much taken for granted by most of the folks over there. Even just mentioning her name is a sort of taboo. So I was thinking it wouldn't be that odd if she felt she couldn't go back home because of that.
Surely not.
Seems a good reason as any for that she wouldn't want to come forward anyway.
If she really is related to the storm 5 years ago, she's a point of interest regardless of her connection to the skeletal remains. Perhaps it's worth looking into that first.
Can I leave talking to Miss Somikawa to you two then?
We'll handle that, yes.
Oh, cool. Vision ability. I saw that button earlier and I was like, you know what? I haven't tried clicking it. What does that mean? I don't know that it has any bearing for right now. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to explore, I guess. It'd be interesting if there was like some hidden things you could look at if you had the visibility on, though. Okay, that's weird. Anyway, a little detour. So we're done talking. We can talk to... No. Do we need to think?
So people believe this Mare Minakuchi called forth the curse of the raging waves 5 years ago, do they? I didn't expect the curse of the raging waves to come up here, of all places. Wait. That's it, I remember now. The sole survivor of Taishima. His surname was Somikawa. There was something else about Somikawa. A wooden box? Surely that'd be too much of a coincidence.
Interesting. Well, that's about all I had to report.
Thank you, Detective. That was very informative. As for our next move, could we ask you to keep looking into Kipe Ikoma for us?
Roger that.
We'll see if we can find Somikawa again and hear what she has to say. Unfortunately, it looks like our trip to Kamishima will have to wait until tomorrow.
So it seems. Oh, you had business in Kamishima too?
That was actually our original reason for coming here, yes. But now we've gotten caught up in all of this other troublesome business, so it looks like dealing with that will have to come first. And here I was hoping to get this over with as soon as possible so I could get back home to my husband.
I see. You sure are devoted to your husband.
Oh, very much. Though I do worry as he never eats properly when I'm not around. In any case, please do get in touch if you find anything else of note. Even if it's just something out of the ordinary happening. Anything could be of help.
Sure, will do. Though you're kind of making me worried something might actually happen now.
I'd certainly prefer it if it didn't. Anyway, we're counting on you, Detective.
So I'm kind of confused. When are we? Because at some point we end up looking at a mermaid corpse in the water, but I think it's after this, right? Because that was like the furthest on the timeline for Yomiko or whatever. And then we had Soto use his abilities and he drew a sketch of Somikawa. So they must have known who Somikawa was and Mare Minakuchi. So I guess when they saw that picture, they must have had a lot more of a realization than... I guess they must have the same realization we had as the audience, because we recognized her face too. Interesting. Toba City Coast. Date unknown, August 1980-something. Ichika Town. Back to the spot where we saw Somikawa. Oh gosh, Soto looks distressed.
Bad news, ma'am. It seems we're here a step too late.
What do you mean?
Seems someone came to and took that Somikawa woman out to sea just a few minutes ago.
What?
According to the witnesses, a foreign man came to the port with Miss Somikawa in tow. They then boarded a motorboat that was moored there and headed out into the bay. It didn't appear to be by force, so we can probably assume they knew each other. A foreign man. Not sure what's going on, but we should probably get a boat and follow just in case. Yes. Let's see if...
Soda, what's wrong?
This spiritual force, it's overwhelming.
My body won't move. What's going on? Oh shit. Who the fuck is that? That girl over there. Is she doing this?
She's a witch.
A little witch. She looks very young.
You can withstand this curse? You really are quite strong, mister. Sorry, but I can't let you go any further. I'll have to ask you to leave. Vithikos Numa, guardian spirit, grant me the wisdom of the Numinius.
I don't know. Are you sure if I'm saying that right?
Oh, high guiding spirit, light my path ahead.
Seems like they've saved us the effort of searching for them.
So it seems. Let's see if this girl can tell us what we want to know.
What the hell is going on? This is a development, dude.
We're in a spirit battle now. Who are you?
I could ask the same of you. What do you want with Miss Somikawa?
So you know who Miss Somikawa is, do you?
Maybe. What's it to you?
Ma'am, this girl's spirit sense is extremely potent, but she lacks experience. She seems hesitant to employ curses against people. If I have an opening, I can use my curse of binding to restrain her. Usually it's too risky to use on ordinary people, but that shouldn't apply here.
All right. I certainly wouldn't mind getting some information out of her. So this is good as opportunity as any. I'll see if I can get her to lower her guard. When she wavers, I'll signal for you to use the curse of binding. Sound like a plan?
Can she not hear you guys?
Sounds like a plan. On your signal.
Use Soto Kiryu's Curse of Binding to restrain your opponent when they let their guard down. Press the Use Curse button to signal him to use it. You only have 3 chances to use the curse. Oh, interesting. Okay. Getting into some video game stuff here. Question, appease, threaten, compliment, give up. Compliment? We'll start with something nice. You certainly have remarkable strength for your age. Why, it might even be too much for us.
What's with the sudden praise? You're creeping me out.
Okay, appease?
Now, there's no need to be so uptight. How about we stop all this and just talk a bit? Not happening. You're just going to use a curse the moment I drop my focus.
I mean, she's right. Question.
Can we assume the foreign man who took Miss Somikawa is a friend of yours, then? So what if she is? Why are you trying to follow them?
Threaten?
If you resist anymore, we'll have you taken in for obstruction of public duties. Wait, you're with the police?
Dude, it doesn't ever feel like there's an opening. Do I have to do these more than once then sometimes? Question again?
What do you want with Miss Somikawa? I could say the same to you. You just want the relic for yourselves, don't you? What? You know about the relic?
Appease.
We'd rather not be heavy-handed about this either. Let's calm down and find some other way to resolve this,
I don't know. ... does not feel like an opening.
Sorry, but that won't work on me. I'm at a rebellious age, you see.
Compliment again?
You certainly have remarkable strength for your age, but it might be even too much for us.
Same thing she said last time.
What's with the sudden praise? You're creeping me out.
That's not working. Question?
If you know about the relic, I'm afraid we can't let you get away.
Get away?
I'm the one holding you here.
Question again?
If you know about the relic, I'm afraid we can't let you get away.
She's saying the same thing. Okay. Threaten again?
Despite appearances, yes, defying us could net you quite the heavy punishment.
I see. You must be from Paranormal Affairs.
Her looking off to the right seems like an opening. I'll try and get 3 chances.
It's no good. She's too wary of us.
Okay. That's not enough. I thought maybe when she broke her gaze, that was enough.
It seems I'll have to press her further before she'll give us an opening.
Okay. Question?
You're also with Paranormal Affairs, then? Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. I suppose this is the trouble with secret departments. Not even their own members recognize each other. What a bother.
Appease?
So we're both from Paranormal Affairs, are we? Let's talk. Perhaps there's some way we can help.
I told you. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's none of your business anyway.
We're done with appeasing. I'll try compliment again. Okay, cool.
Even knowing we're from Paranormal Affairs, you kept a straight face and hid your ties. I can tell you're both bold and smart.
Thanks, I guess. Will you give up now?
Not until I've exhausted everything. Question?
So you're with Paranormal Affairs. But you need the relic yourself, so you're unwilling to cooperate with us. Am I correct? If that's what you think, can you give up already?
Okay, we're done with questioning. Now threaten.
You have quite some nerve standing up to us despite knowing where we're from. Don't think you'll get off lightly for this. Threatening me won't get you anywhere. You can't arrest me unless it's an emergency, right?
I mean, there's nothing more I can do now. I don't think she ever gave us an opening. I don't know what I was supposed to recognize as an opening. Give up?
All right, I understand where you're coming from. We won't interfere anymore. Toto, you can stop now.
Ma'am?
Really?
Thanks. That's got to be the opening. Boom!
You grown-ups and your dirty tricks. You did well to be cautious of us, but I'm afraid this is how grown-ups get things done. Now, will you tell us what you're up to here? Well, I suppose I've slowed you down enough. You'll never catch up to that boat now. Bakas Asteri, guide my path, and with thy merciful hand uphold me.
What? She broke the binding.
Bye-bye.
Confound it. Stop right there!
Looks like she's given us the slip. I doubt we'll be able to catch her now. Still, I'm going to have a word with Paranormal Affairs about that girl.
Devious adults. Soda Kiryu and Sume Shiki win. Okay, cool. So we won that. We could have lost that. Okay.
I put in a call to Paranormal Affairs about our errant young lady just now.
I see. I assume she's indeed affiliated with them.
Yes, it seems her name is Circe Lunarlight. She's an exorcist from England who's come here on exchange. Part of her spiritual training, as I understand.
The Lunarlight family. I see.
Oh? Are they well known?
I've heard of them, yes. They're a distinguished family of exorcists. Quite an old one, too. It would certainly explain the strength of her spirit sense.
Right. In any case, it seems she's in the care of a Paranormal Affairs while she's in Japan. Honestly, I do wish they'd tell us these things in advance.
What is she doing here in Maid Prefecture?
Well, it seems even Paranormal Affairs isn't sure what she's up to. They've been looking for her. From the sounds of things, she's been skipping her training assignments to travel around Japan, visiting all sorts of spiritual spots instead. Doesn't seem like they're keeping an eye on her at all. Unfortunately not. They asked me to tell her to return to Tokyo at once when we next see her.
I see. More work for us, then.
Yes, the things we find ourselves caught up with. She seemed to know about Somikawa, too. I've got a bad feeling about all this.
Shall we try looking for her? I imagine she's still in the area.
No, not now. If all that is true, I doubt she'll be looking to cause too much trouble. Besides, I'm sure we'll run into each other again eventually. Well, I think that's enough trouble for one day. Let's call it a day. We'll head back to Kamishima first thing tomorrow.
Understood.
Okay, so Tomikawa's going out to the water right now with that guy. So it must be that while she's out there, the curse that turns her into a fish happens. Because she's got to end up being the dead body that we saw earlier, or actually going to see the next day, as far as where we're at in the timeline right now. We're going to find her body in the morning. Bing. All right. So no more for them. We'll be back over in Yuza's area. Let me see. How long have we been streaming? Do need to get some stuff done today. 2.5 hours. We can do like another section, I think. I think we'll be all right. Okay, let's go quick stretch. Ooh. Whew. All right. I mean, we could do more underwater gathering, I guess, but it looks like there's something else there we could have done. We'll try that really quick. Yeah, we'll try it. There was apparently a bird down here, so I do want to see if I can find the bird. I wonder if it's like behind one of these piles of rocks and stuff. Probably not just going to be like immediately visible is what I'm thinking. Where would they put something like that? Might be closer to the hole. Return to the boat. Don't die. Oh yeah, we're good. We've leveled up. Gathering complete. Almost got to 6. All right, let's take another look. You gotta like really go off in certain directions, I think. I'm gonna try this direction. Dark and spooky down here. That thing looks huge. Ooh, it's a purple. Oh, nice. Hit here. Guess I got that one purple. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get another one. Yeah, let's just head back up. Well, let's take another look around. Oh shit, no, we gotta head back up. I don't think the sticker was that way. I think we pretty thoroughly checked that out. Oh, Oh, we're so far away. And we got it. We got it. Okay. Woo, that was close. Got us purple. 290 just for that one. God damn. Rank up. All right, let's see. Standard water longer is always good. I think standard water longer, man. It's hard not to want that one. Okay, let's go this route. Nice. Got another one of those. Come on, bird sticker. Where you at? Where would they put that down here? Oh. What is that? That's it. I can see it. Harvest it. Nice. Return to the boat. We found the bird sticker. We found it, and we might die. Just go to the surface. Just go. You're right there next to the surface. Okay, cool. It's so funny. It's like shallowly, just like, yeah, but I'm not near the boat yet. Like, what the hell? We got it. Look at that. He looks funny. He's got a whole fucking wig on or whatever. A little shirt and sunglasses and a necklace. Nice. Yeah, we found those two so far. Very cool. All right, shall we do another one? Just cause one more. Just kind of want to explore it in another direction because we did that direction. We did that direction. We know the hole's that way. Let's go this way. I don't want to waste my oxygen. I'm more exploring than anything. Maybe unless I get one of these guys, because then I can level up again. Ooh, 324. Ooh, that's a good one. I wonder what the gold thing that I can find is. I guess it must be rare. Oh, what the fuck? We gotta go towards that. What the fuck is that? This is far, too far. Wait, what? I didn't even get to read what that said. Is that just what it looks like when you see a boundary? Dude, that thing was crazy looking. I guess I should go back to the boat. Definitely found some cool stuff in this minigame. Should have got enough to level up. Gotta level up. Boom. Now we can go ahead and just max out our breath. Why not? Max. Yeah, seeing that face makes me want to go down again. I know I said the last one was the last one, but you know, we're finding cool stuff. So that was that way. So now we'll go a little bit more this way. Oh, we got so much oxygen now. As far as the okay, so that's what it says, something about the rope not going far enough. But there was that face. God, now I want to do another dive where I go down towards that face again. That was so spooky. What's this? Oh, another one of those. Oh, a question mark. Another bird? Hell yeah, dude. There was more than one bird. Oh shit, I didn't mean to go back to the boat, but that's fine. It's all good. I think I am gonna do one more dive and go back towards that face again. Even though I guess it's probably just gonna tell me the same thing with the rope. I wonder if it'll be there again, or if it was just like a one-time deal. That's cool. Look at that guy. All right, let's go towards that face one more time. Will it be there again? That's the question. I think it was right here last time, right? Yeah. So it's not there again. Interesting. No, it's just one of those. I want one of these. I think these are abalone. Okay. Well, we found two bird stickers. We leveled up at least once, and we found that weird face. So, and we found quite a bit in here. I wonder if it'll be grayed out now or not. What does this mean? Do I go back to the search area? Do you return the search area? I think I do. I don't know what this button does. Stop diving. That's what we want to do. Is it just going to take me into the next part of the story? Okay, yeah. Return to story chart. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now we can do this one. Memories of the last summer. It's from Yuza's perspective. The promised day arrives. After their usual morning dive, the group of 4 meet at the dock. Okay. This is after the first scene that we did, which was with Yuza and Zumi, or whatever his name is. I can't remember his name.
Hey, Azami, Yuza, over here. Good timing. I just got back too.
Well, Tsukasa, how'd it go?
Hehe, not too shabby if I do say so myself. Check this out. 2 whole scallops.
Seriously, Tsukasa? You don't get bragging rights for picking up 2 measly scallops.
Sure I do. That was hard work. You should be praising me.
Say, Yuza, how many scallops did you get on your first dive again? 7, I think.
Huh? Not bad at all. You must have a talent for this, Yuza.
I wouldn't go that far. I bet Azami just picked a good spot. Hey, you're the one who snagged them. Don't sell yourself short, man.
Pfft. Listen to you two, buttering each other up. It's obvious from a mile off that you two make a great team. If you ask me, all that matters is that everyone made it back safe and sound.
True. You always know the best things to say, Sato.
But for the record, I would have preferred a bigger haul of scallops. Then we could have had a feast.
Heh, guess I should have seen that coming.
So what's the plan for today? Remember, Tsukasa is up to you. Or remember, Tsukasa, it's up to you.
Right, we promise we'd do whatever you wanted today. You name it, we'll make it happen.
Now that's more like it. Let's see. First of all, I want us all to go for a swim in the sea.
Oh, sounds great. Can't even remember the last time we did something like that just for fun.
Right? I want us to forget work and just enjoy the sparkling sea for a change. I even brought a new swimsuit for this. You've got one picked out too, right, Sato? Sure do. Then after that, when it gets dark, we'll set off some fireworks. Ooh, fireworks. And then, let's have a barbecue on the beach and cook up everything we caught today.
Sounds like a plan. Just leave it to us. Everyone ready? Then let's do this. I mean, it sounds so lovely, I bet something bad's gonna happen. There's a shark, and it's coming this way. Better watch out, Azami.
That was a close one, Azami.
What the heck? I'm a good swimmer, but there's no way I'm good enough to outswim a shark. It's okay, I'll keep it pinned down. Just get out of here while you can. And here, take this fin as something to remember me by. Keep it with you always. Sorry, Yuza, I don't really dig shark fins that much. My heart.
Look at the sea. It's like there are diamonds floating on the surface.
It really sparkles, huh? Sure is pretty.
Aw, that shark's pretty cool. I should have picked a shark instead of a life buoy.
I guess that was her thinking, right?
But he's having such a blast, I can't bring myself to ask to ride on it.
What a cute picture. Who took it? If they're all in it. What a lovely time. I thought something bad was gonna happen. One grilled squid coming right up. Nah, don't throw it. It's piping hot. I'm getting squid juice everywhere. Let's see how you like it. Catch the... Ow, ow, that's hot.
You did that to yourself.
Hey, check out this huge sea snail. Tsukasa caught. It's massive.
That's right. I may still be a rookie when it comes to scallops, but I got a haul of sea snails to make up for it. So eat up, Azami. Have as many as you want. Hey, can I borrow that lighter?
Sure. Seems like Sato likes Yuza. I mean, just from the last two pictures. Want some squid too?
Oh, so I can just grill it directly?
Yeah, that's Kameshima's specialty. Fireworks style squid. Wait, you're actually doing it? Ah, the juice is going everywhere. It burns. Wait, what's happening? I wish I could see.
Whoops, sorry, my hand slipped.
There it is, the famous Yuza one-man show. And what a nice evening for the kids. I like it. I'm glad nothing bad happened so far. No, really, that was the whole thing? Oh, well, that was simple and short. Okay, so there's still something here. Tomokazuki. It's like I don't have any other options except diving and going back to this one. So, let's go back. Using Minakuchi, a young Kameshima man, asked his close friend Azami Kumoi to captain a boat for his first attempt at diving in the bay. However, Yuza had a specific goal in mind. I guess we're resuming? Okay, the only part we have here is start after underwater gathering. It's not checked, so I guess we'll go there. Right, let's leave it at that for today. Good work out there, Yuza. You managed to get a fair bit of diving in, huh? I bet you feel like you've got a better grasp on things now. For sure. I feel like my diver rank's gone up at least a bit, too. So, do you feel any different now? Did your body undergo any weird changes? Nope, I feel exactly the same. Nothing's changed. I'm the same old Yuza I've always been. I guess we were a bit off the mark, huh? So what do you want to do now? Should we call it a day? Talk about the hole or go back immediately? I mean, I don't know what new thing I can do here. Talk about the hole.
Azami. Before we head back, could we talk for a bit?
Sure, what's up? Okay, let me take this opportunity to look for a bird sticker somewhere. Fishing boat.
This fishing boat, the Cyan Maru, belongs to Azami's family. I don't have a boat of my own, so Azami was kind enough to bring it out for me. It used to belong to his dad, so it's getting on in years, but he takes good care of it. Seems he's hoping to keep using it for years to come.
Oh.
Isn't this one of those Mockingbird stickers?
Oh, good eye, Yusa. That's right. I found one stowed away in this very boat. By the way, that's Mockingbird number 8. Tit for tat. That's a funny looking one. He's got a little pompadour on top of his head. He's a long-tailed tit. Apparently, you're meant to read the characters behind him as Blizzard. Huh. Guess there's more to these mockingbirds than I thought. Nice, we got all 4 of those. Kamishima is located in the waters near the entrance to Ise Bay. As such, there are strict regulations on both the times and places ama diving is allowed. There must be something I didn't do last time for it to want me to come back here. That's Kamishima. That island on the horizon is Kamishima, where I was born and raised. Okay, nothing there. In the skies, a whole lot of nothing. This is Azami Kumoi, my best friend. I've known him since we were both kids growing up on Kamishima. When I told him I wanted to become an ama diver, he was quick to offer his full support. Must be something I say to him. So when I was diving just now, a giant hole in the seabed you've never heard before? Never heard of before? Yeah, the rocks around it look like they'd only recently collapsed. So I think it's probably opened up within the last few months or so. Ah, now that you mention it, there was a pretty big earthquake around here about 3 months ago. Maybe that had something to do with it. No, that's right. That would have been before I got back. Anyway, if you saw a giant hole in the seabed, you'd be curious about it, right? I sure would. Curious enough to try to take a look inside? It'd be pretty dangerous, but I guess I might, yeah. Right? So I went closer to try to get a better look. Did you see anything? Well, when I looked down into the hole, a ghost or something that looked just like me suddenly rose up from the depths. A ghost that looked like you. It swam towards me with its hand outstretched. It looked like it was trying to hand something to me, or maybe it was trying to tell me something? Man. What did you do then? Did you take its hand? I did. Felt like I couldn't resist somehow. Guess even the patron saint of diving does foolish things sometimes. The only thing I was a patron of was carelessness and a lack of proper vigilance. Sounds like there wasn't much you could do about it, though. Hey, Yuza. That thing you ran into, do you think it could have been a Tomokazuki? Tomokazuki? I feel like I'm not... This is all, like, repeated stuff. I wonder if I should have seen that face and... Well, I don't know, because it didn't really do, like, a cutscene there. I don't know. Because we've already had the conversation, so it's like I would really like to see something new rather than have the same conversation again. Tomokazuki. No, you've never heard of it? Well, I guess not even all the folks around here know about it either. It does sound familiar, though. The Tomokazuki is a sort of ghost story around these parts. Story goes that sometimes when diving, an Amadiver will come across another version of themselves, an exact copy. That other version of them will be holding out something they want, like an abalone. Something they want. And when the diver reaches for it, the Tomokazuki grabs them and drags them to the bottom of the sea. Whoa, that's scary. But wait, the Tomokazuki I saw wasn't holding anything. It wasn't? Well, that's different. Maybe I forgot it at home or something. At home? Huh. The abalone? Yeah, the abalone. Maybe I left it at home. Huh. Maybe the Tomokazuki is more careless than the legends let on. You're pretty forgetful, though, so maybe it became such a perfect copy that it imitated that aspect of you as well. Oh, that damn Tomokazuki. It knows my every weakness. Now that you mention it, though, I think I do remember that story from when I was younger. I guess the fact that I forgot the story really proves how forgetful I am, huh? No worries. It was a while ago, you know? Okay, that was all the same. What happened afterwards? Did anything happen after you took his hand? I don't really remember. When I came to, I was back outside the hole. Thought maybe I'd blacked out due to the lack of oxygen, but it had been some sort of hallucination. And it had been some sort of hallucination. I see. Yeah, I guess it's possible. But if that's the case, that means I stopped you just to talk about some hallucination I saw. That would be super embarrassing. Some people do say that Tomokazuki legends might have come about because of divers seeing things when they ran out of air. But hey, it's no big deal even if it was a hallucination. The most important thing is that you're safe. Still, can't help but wonder about a hole suddenly appearing like that. Yeah, it's pretty weird. By the way, you know those symbols on your diving gear? Symbols? Yep, Simon and Domon. The Amadivers around here all have them somewhere on their outfits. Oh, this was my mom's gear, so I didn't know. People say the symbols work as a charm to protect divers from Tomokazuki. Interesting. But if I ran into a Tomokazuki just now, wouldn't that mean that the charm didn't work? Maybe, but it could be thanks to the charm that you made it back safely. The sea's a dangerous place even without the Tomokazuki around. Things could have been even worse without the charm to protect you. I see. So without this charm, I really could have been attacked by a shark. Glad I had it then. Seriously, a shark would have been no laughing matter. Hey, Azumi, about the Tomokazuki just now. Yeah? Do you think it has anything to do with what we're looking into? Our investigation, huh? If so, could your mom have become an Amadiver because she wanted to find the Tomokazuki? But she wouldn't have worn something with this charm on it if that were true, right? Good point. Is that all you wanted to talk about? There's more. No, there's more, actually. This might be the most important part. I realize there's something I need to do after this, something really important. Hey, so you found a lead down there after all. I'm serious. If I don't pull this off, something terrible is going to happen. Hey, I believe you. Go on, tell me everything. And that's just the end of it, but we didn't do the extra thing. There's something else I can do there. Or maybe it's in the underwater gathering, but I feel like we did so much with that. Dude, I am like lost. Yeah, I'm just gonna click through it and see if I can't find anything. Resume, because it's gonna tell me that one spot still is unchecked. Start from after the underwater gathering. I guess I just don't tell them about the hole. I mean, that's the only like option I really had, right? That I didn't. Well, Blah 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 blah. Go back immediately. You got it. Kamishima Port, here we come. Okay. Yeah, this is different. So if I don't talk about the hole, this happens. Okay. All right. We figured it out. So if I did talk about the hole, we have a nice time with our friends, but then if I don't talk about the hole, something different happens? Yeah, this is a new scene.
Hey, Yuza, I took your catch to the market while you were changing. Oh, thanks, I appreciate it. Keep this up, you should be able to make a healthy profit, even with the price of gas. That's great. We'll have to keep at it then. There you are, Azami. Don't tell me you went out fishing today. Who is this? Chi? Oh, some old lady. Oh, Chi. How's your back doing? Not going to get any better lounging around at home, that's for sure. More importantly, no one's meant to be taking their boats out right now because of the storm that's on the way. Don't tell me you didn't hear. Ah, yeah, but it was more of a warning than a rule. And the weather looked fine, so I figured it was okay. You should know better than that, Azami. You youngins never listen to you. Veteran Ama Diver. Chi Toyama. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Chie? The de facto leader of the Ama Divers on Kamishima, she is a highly influential figure on the island. She married into a family on Kamishima shortly after the end of the Second World War at the age of 20, and has been working as an Ama diver for close to 40 years, rarely missing the opening day of each diving season. She has displayed a natural talent for diving ever since her days as an apprentice, coming to be known as Chie the Mermaid, for the deft ease in which she moves through the water. In her heyday, she earned more money than her husband, enough to send all 3 of her sons to university, an achievement that she takes great pride in, and also earned her considerable authority in her household. Now a grandmother to 7, a back injury has led to her being less active than she used to be, but she is still considered one of the most experienced divers on the island. Her graceful swimming shows no signs of decline, continuing to inspire others even now. Her estimated diver rank is 67. Wow. And going out with the Minakuchi boy of all people. Actually, Azami only took out his boat because I asked him to help out with my work. Wait a dang second. Don't tell me you went out to dive. I did? Why do you ask? I did, but why do you ask? Am I not allowed to be an Ama diver? Absolutely not. I won't allow it. What? Why? Yuza is a member of the association, same as everyone else. As long as he follows the rules, it should be fine, right? Sure, it's rare for guys to become Ama divers, but it's not like it's forbidden or anything. That ain't what I'm talking about. I'm saying he shouldn't be allowed in the sea. It's obscene, is what it is. Everyone agreed to put up with him being on the island for Suyu's sake. And now he gets it in his head he's gonna go diving, of all things. Have you no sense, boy? Damn, dude. Superstition runs deep. Seems like I'll have to have a few words with Suyu. You not knowing your place and going to cause everyone trouble. Listen up, Minakuchi boy. You'd better keep your head down and stay put on dry land where you belong. No more diving, you hear? Hey now, you don't think that's going a bit far? There's no need to lay into Yuza like that. Azami. What? You really don't think anything of all this? After what his mother did? Nope, not at all. Yuza hasn't done anything wrong. He was a victim of the disaster too, maybe more than anyone else. Recently there's been this strange rumbling coming from the sea. Same rumbling as 5 years ago. Everyone's scared of what might be coming. They're bracing themselves for another big disaster. Oh, is that what you meant by the storm? The weather forecast said things are going to stay calm for a bit, though. The hell with the weather forecast. It didn't say it was 5 years ago. Anyhow, you see why we gotta stay in the gods of the sea's good graces? No doing anything to upset them, got it? Don't let it get you down, Yuza. Chie isn't a bad person at heart, but the old folks here are all pretty firm in their beliefs, I guess. Yeah, it's only natural. I was kind of expecting it, to be honest. Still, I didn't think she'd get that mad. Guess they have a bigger chip on their shoulders about all this than I thought.
Seems like they really think your mom was to blame for the disaster. Yeah. I guess wanting to get to the bottom of things there was only my reasons for becoming was one of my reasons for becoming an Alma diver. Yeah, everyone's been avoiding the topic until now, but that can't go on forever. Kikuko. Hey, you two. Who's this? Lots of new characters. No, it's Kikuko. Yeah, you two over there. Can I get some help with these boxes here? I need to get them to the warehouse. Local Alma diver, Kikuko. She's got like a scar on her face, or maybe it's like a birthmark or something. Interesting. Kikuko Susui. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Woman born and raised in Kamishima, unmarried. She is known for her friendly, sociable nature and almost sisterly tendency to look after others, both of which make her a familiar face to many on the island. Ever since her school days, Kikuko harbored a strong desire to leave Kamishima. To leave Kamishima and make a life for herself elsewhere. While most of her classmates began working as Alma divers following graduation from middle school, she decided to enroll in a boarding school as a first step towards fulfilling this goal. Going to graduate from a junior college in Aichi Prefecture and then finding a job in general administration at a company in Ise City. However, because her assigned work consisted only of unfulfilling menial tasks like pouring tea and answering calls, she left after only 1 year. She changed jobs repeatedly over the following years, but found no further luck in subsequent workplaces. Eventually, recognizing that success as an Alma diver is determined solely by the extent of one's physical prowess and ingenuity, she came to find the idea of such work appealing and moved back to Kamishima 4 years ago. Despite her late start as an Alma diver compared to her peers, she leveraged her high athletic ability, a talent which even saw her star in the national athletic meet during her school days, and her innate knack for analytical thinking and research to consistently turn out good results, and she has since earned the respect of even the veteran Alma divers of the island. Her estimated diver rank is 41. Kikuko has had scant luck with men, having been introduced to several potential partners only to be turned down by all of them. Her parents, anxious for her future, worry that the large birthmark on her face is to blame. But Kikuko herself remains unfazed, citing her lack of interest in marriage as the primary cause, something which has caused them no end of concern. Although she endeavored to hide her birthmark with makeup while at school and during her time as an office worker, she has since embraced it, proudly proclaiming it as to be her symbol. Nice. Sounds like she's in a pretty good place mentally then. Phew, thanks. I knew I could rely on you youngins to help out. Youngins? You're a youngin too, Kikuko. Nah, how kind. Pretty sure you're the only ones who'd say that, though. I was told out of nowhere to make sure anything valuable was stowed away just in case a storm hits. What a pain. So you're getting ready for the storm too? Yep, pretty silly when the weather's this good, huh? Not like I can say no, though. Speaking of pains, I overheard Chie giving you an earful just now. Are you seriously planning to become an Alma diver, Yuza? Well, that was the plan, but it's looking like I might be forced into retirement before I even began. Why now? Didn't you come back here to look after Tsuyu? Yes, but I still have to work, and I've always been interested in Alma diving. Grandma's also pretty down about no longer being able to dive, so thought it might cheer her up a bit. Ah, so you want to follow in Tsuyu's footsteps? Still, you must have noticed that everyone was on edge just at the thought of you coming back here. If they hear you went diving, there will likely be a bit of an uproar. Are they really that set against Yuza going in the sea? Never heard anyone say anything like that. Well, they don't say it where you can hear it. Everyone loves you here, and they know you're close with Yuza. They probably feel they can't be that tough on him with you around. What was that? Oh, never mind. Forget I said anything. Man, Yuza's just getting hosed here, dude. Poor guy. I can't deny there's been this creepy rumbling coming from the sea recently, though. It's no wonder everyone's unnerved.
some sort of disaster does end up happening again and Yuza gets caught doing something he wasn't meant to do, that'll probably be it for him. Yeah, that's what I don't get. Do people seriously believe Yuza's mom caused that storm? Everyone suffered because of it, including Yuza's family. It's so stupid. Hey, I honestly think it's stupid too. But the truth is there are a bunch of people who believe it, so making a fuss about it isn't going to get you anywhere, right? Besides, even if this storm doesn't come in the end, a different kind of storm may already be brewing. Different kind of storm? Well, you shouldn't have any trouble if you keep your head down. Just be good and do what you're told. And no one will get on your case, yeah? Give me a break. Why's he gotta keep his head down here? He was born and raised on Kamishima, just like everyone else. Hey, getting mad at me won't change anything. If it upsets you that much, why don't you leave? Leaving a place like this behind might be for the best, don't you think? Maybe, but I can't just ask my gran to move somewhere else at her age. And you'll just have to put up with it. If you want to blame anyone, blame your mom. Did his mom even do anything 5 years ago? No one wants to tell us anything. No idea. I only came back here after the disaster, so I don't know what happened at the time. Mr. Wakamura always seems like he knows more than he lets on, though. When I think about it, why don't you just ask Tsuyu what she knows? Tsuyu? I've already asked Gran about it countless times. She says she doesn't know anything. And you don't think that's a bit suspicious? If anyone knows something, it'd be her, right? You might be right. She's pretty hard to read. I wouldn't be able to tell if she was hiding something anyway. Anyway, I do feel bad for you, but you've just gotta grin and bear it. For everyone's sake, eh? I mean, that's... what a sad bit of advice. I get that she doesn't really have anything else that she can say, but like, geez, just take everyone's abuse, dude. I don't know. Like, that doesn't sound like you're saying. Thanks for the help, you two. Try to stay out of trouble, okay? Kikuko really seemed like she didn't know anything. Well, hold on. Kikuko really seemed like she didn't know anything, huh? The folks are way more on edge than I thought. Yeah, gotten the sense that I'm not exactly welcome here since I came back. I didn't think trying to make a living here would lead to that much backlash. Didn't realize everyone disliked my mom quite that much, or that they were so suspicious of her. Seems like the timing wasn't great either. Everyone's wound up about these ill omens that are happening right now. Still, I'm sure now that my mom must have had some sort of secret, and I'm almost certain it had to do with what we're looking into. If everyone hears that I went diving today, might prompt people to start talking about what happened 5 years ago. True. If there's any time to ask about your mom, it's now. I think we should see what old man Wakamura and Tsuyu have to say about all this too. Yeah, assuming Green agrees to talk about it anyway. There we go, we got another branch, right? Boom. Oh, look at that. And then all that got scooted forward. So now we're finally on the right timeline. So that whole time I had gone up to a branch that was a dead end. So this just ends with them like all having a good time and hanging out. That's interesting. But then this leads to Cursed. That was like a happy ending we found right away. Nice. That's cool. It's interesting that these shifted over like that. Okay. Shows you we're in the timeline they happen, I guess. All right, well, I think that's where I'm going to go ahead and call it for this week. We made quite a bit of progress. We did, what, like 2 nodes down here, and then we got this node up here, and then we did some more diving and found some interesting stuff. That's cool. Yeah, that's what we're going to call it for today. So thanks for anybody who came by and showed up. It's been a fun stream today. We'll see you guys next Sunday.